Ladies and gentlemen, here's tonight's starting lineup for your St. Joseph Mustangs. Along with the baseball members, the 2026 and Green Thursday. Leading off tonight for the Mustangs is Christoph. Number 3 is Chris Ford. He's baseball ladies Karen Woodward and Ethan Ashley. Batting second for right fielder. Northwestern Joseph University number 26. Mike Ball. Baseball ladies James Clark and Taylor Lee. Batting third for center fielder. 07 Senior number 36. William Lucas. Baseball ladies Taylor Hush and Football Assist. Batting fourth is Hampton. The University of St. Louis number 28, Boston Booth. Baseball ladies Reese and Becky. Batting second for baseman, Southeast Missouri State number 21, Carson Black. Baseball ladies Oakland Curtis. Batting sixth to 21st base from the University number 8, David Little. Baseball ladies David Greaser. Batting seventh designated hitter, going out of the college of 9, Tyler Nicholas. Baseball ladies Sidney Grimble. Batting eighth to center baseman, the Washington State University number 25, Seth Pinker. Center ladies Olivia Mancini. Batting ninth to left field, the University College of 22, Thomas Dalton. Baseball ladies Blake Levinson. On the mound tonight, we have Mustangs, and Northwestern Joseph University number 10, Wayne Chapman. Baseball ladies Steve Rush. Batting the Mustangs, John Floyd, Sister Country, Joshua Reddick, Mark Clark. Thank you. Jeremy. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're asking you please rise and do your best. Direct the attention of the field as we now remember with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight, please welcome Rock.
Welcome inside Phil Welch Stadium here, July 16th. We're just 2 weeks away from the end of regular season play. The playoffs just around the corner for both teams. The Mustangs take on the Clarinda A's, the second-seeded team in the Mink League currently. Tyler, a pivotal matchup in terms of heading into the last week of the season as well as the playoffs.
Yeah, Clarinda coming in as the number 2 seed in the Mink League. They have, after spending most of the year as the 1 seed, they've been on a little bit of a rough stretch. 4-6 in their past 10, but on the complete opposite spectrum is the St. Joseph Mustangs, who just had their 9-game win streak ending last night at North Missouri. But nonetheless, it's been an amazing turnaround for this Mustangs team. After a very up and down first month of the season, they've been on fire on both sides of the ball to lead off the past couple weeks.
Yeah, pitching has had a lot to do with how the Mustangs have been doing recently. I mean, you've got an assortment of guys on the mound who are able to go 5-6 innings deep, and then your relievers and closers are doing just as well to be able to seal some really big wins. 12-2 win against Chillicothe. Saw some other double-digit wins in the last couple weeks, but Carroll currently stands at the #1 spot in the Mink League at 19-6. Clarinda at 2, 18-7. Joplin and St. Joe going back and forth. Before last night's loss to North Missouri, St. Joe was in 3rd in the Mink League. They dropped down to 4th after the loss and Joplin's win. So Joplin's in 3rd, 16-11. St. Joe not far behind them, 17-12. So for the Mustangs to jump back up, get a win here tonight, hope for a loss on the other side of the ball.
Only percentage points limiting the difference between Joplin and St. Joe, but St. Joe having a very pivotal weekend as they face 3 games this week, 1 against Clarinda tonight and 2 against Carroll on Friday and Saturday. So we'll be looking to see the Mustangs look to continue their hot streak, especially against the top tier teams here in the Mink League as they take on Carroll in just a couple of minutes.
And on the mound for the Mustangs to start us off, Lane Chapman. He's had 5 appearances, started 4 games, so he's a pretty consistent starter for the Mustangs offense. Slinging a 3.43 ERA. He's had himself quite the season. 30 total strikeouts. We'll see what he can do here against the first batter for the A's, Sean Bazemore.
Sean Bazemore, the first batter for the A's tonight. He's playing shortstop, and Cooper Knight will be following him playing right field. Theo Anderson is going to round out the top of the first at first base, and Cole Baumgart will be playing second base, cleaning up. That first pitch is grounded over to the left side, and a foul ball to lead off the game for Sean Bazemore. Bazemore, really consistent hitter at the top of the lineup for the A's. He's coming in today with a .316 batting average, right around their team average as a whole. So the 0-1 count by Chapman to Bazemore is a grounder up to the third base side. Over to first, his throw is in time, so an easy ground out to lead off this game for Lane Chapman. And after one is down. Coming up for Cooper Knight.
The Mustangs doing a good job there at taking Bazemore off the bases, who stands 2nd in the league for stolen bases. He's at 20, right behind Tucker, who played for Joplin just last weekend. Bazemore, 20 stolen bases, keeping him off. Important here. Bringing Knight to the plate.
That first pitch to Cooper Knight taken just a bit low and outside to make it ball 1. Knight, one of the more patient hitters, 13 walks compared to 13 strikeouts on the season for him coming into today. That next pitch just taken a bit outside, and in addition to those 13 walks, he's got a batting average of .368. which, believe it or not, is not even the highest on this team. That would belong to Theo Anderson coming up on deck. But he does lead the team in on-base percentage, .522 coming into today.
Anderson also leads the Mink League in batting average by quite a bit. He's above Braden Lucart. Anderson batting .471. Lucart only .420, but still, the A's lineup, there's a reason they're 2nd in the Mink League. They've got some good power on the bases.
There's a liner over the head of the third baseman, Schrack, over into left field for a base hit. So an opposite field single for Cooper Knight gets the first runner on the board for the A's as they come in with Theo Anderson, as you were just mentioning, Gabe, one of the most dangerous hitters in the entire Mink League, leading every single batter by 51 points in terms of batting average coming into today. And he's not just a pure contact hitter. He's got a little bit of power too. 10 doubles and a homer coming into today. But he swings and misses way in front of that first pitch off speed by Chapman to go down 0-1. When we last saw Clarinda here at the Phil, that was a couple weeks ago, back on the 26th of June. Anderson got the day off, so this is the first time that the Mustangs have seen him so far this season. The 0-1 offering is lined out into left field. That's a base hit. Belton has it on one hop and throws into second. So back-to-back base hits off of Chapman. put 2 men on with only 1 out here in the top of the first for the A's.
2 men on, only an out. It puts you in a little bit of a tricky situation. The A's have a chance to advance runners into scoring position. But also, could look pretty good for the Mustangs here. We've seen them turn 2 quite a few times this season. Gives them the opportunity to do that here. We'll see if they're able to put the ball in play.
Double play definitely in effect for the Mustangs. Pretty solid defense today, as there's a swing and a miss by Cole Baumgart to lead off his at-bat. He's down 0-1. Chris Coy, Seth Winkler, and Jaden Little at short, second, and first, with Carson Schrack moving over to third base today. In the outfield, you have Belton, Lukart, and Gall, with Boston Bruce behind the mound for the Stangs. That next pitch is taken outside for the ball, so the count's now 1-1. Chapman's 1-1 offering is swung on and missed. We've been seeing a little bit of that swing and miss action early on in this game, as A's hitters have been really aggressive. Baumgart about to see the 4th pitch. So far, the longest at bat for any A's hitter was Knight's at bat a couple batters ago. He only saw 4 pitches. That pitch is fouled back over to the right field side and just out of play. Baumgart's able to stay alive with the count 1-2. A little bit of motion out there at second base, but Chapman sets and delivers. Soft fly ball into medium deep center field. Coming in to make the grab is Braden Lukart. Basket grab there for him. And Baumgart's retired via the F8 for out number 2 here in the top of the first.
Lukart, a Mink League All-Star. His defense and offense, both sides of the ball, incredible work he's been able to produce out there in center.
Mink League not hosting an All-Star game this year, but nonetheless, the All-Stars were revealed by Inside the Mink a couple of days ago. Clarinda led the league with 8, and St. Joe trailed just behind them with 7. First pitch to Andrew Young is fouled back to the netting. 0-1 the count. Young's the 5th batter of the inning, and so far on 4 of them, Chapman's been able to go up 0-1. So great job of getting those first pitch strikes. Knight heads off from second base, but that ball is fouled off to the left side and out of play, so he has to scamper back. Knight sitting over at second, and Anderson sitting over at first. Cooper Knight on the year, 13 stolen bases. That places him 3rd on the A's roster. Leader for the Mustangs coming in today is Chris Coy with 11. The 0-2 hole, though, to Young is flown down the left field side, hooking just out of play, just behind the dugout for the visiting A's.
Schrack was making his way over there, but it was able to sneak just over the fence last minute. Will and Jackson almost made the grab, but just a bit too shy.
Chapman pitching out of the stretch here in the top of the first. 2 men are on, 2 outs, and the 0-2 count here to Andrew Young. The pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Young retired via the swing and K, and down go the A's in the top of the first. They threatened, but no runs come across as the A's score 0 in the top of the first. Mustangs coming on up for their first time tonight. We'll be right back here in your home of the Mustangs on YouTube right after this.
We love Queens
Welcome back to Mustangs baseball, and 0-0 is our score going into the bottom of the first, and Chris Coy going to be leading it off for the Mustangs today. Typical leadoff hitter, having a great season, batting just a shade under 300 coming into today. He's on to face Clay Hedges, who hasn't pitched since June 22nd. That was a start against the Mustangs, a 3-2 victory for Clarinda. Went 6 innings with 1 run. With 1-0 count to Coy as a fastball taken just outside. Count now 2-0 here to Chris. Chris, a lot of power and speed out there in the leadoff spot. We've seen him be really aggressive. So taking a couple pitches is great as he sends that out into the left center field gap for the base hit. So Chris Coy making his way on after 3 pitches with a base hit. Great job of hitting for him as that fastball ran just a tad high. Not the location that Hedges was wanting, but nonetheless putting a runner on for Frank Gall, who hit his second home run of the season last night, and the 2 nights ago for the Mustangs as they beat the Chillicothe 12-1. First pitch to Frank is taken just a tad low and inside for ball 1. In addition to Gall's home run, Braden Lukart, the man waiting on deck, hit 2 of them to make his season total go up to 4. Mustangs showing a lot of power lately here in the past couple weeks. So Gall able to take that pitch right and down the middle for strike 1. So the 1-1 count here to Frank Gall with Chris Coy over at first is a soft grounder over to second base, getting out of the way of the second baseman Cole Baumgart into right field. We'll see how that gets scored, but that was undoubtedly a misplay by Baumgart out there at second. A little bit of fun hopper down right to him, and it is ruled an error, so an E4 allowing Frank Gall to advance first. Chris Coy makes his way to second, and the first 2 Mustangs are on with no outs here in the bottom of the first for the very dangerous Braden Lukart. First pitch to Lukart is a fastball taken inside for ball 1, and Clay Hedges, despite making the Mink League All-Star team, one of 8 Clarinda A's to do so, is really starting to show a little bit of struggle here in the top of the first, maybe a little bit of rust since he hasn't pitched in nearly 4 weeks. The 1-0 offering to Lukart taken way inside. Braden able to take the dodge just a little bit out of that way. Goes up in the count 2-0.
Yeah, Hedges, despite having a 2.3 ERA, I mean, he's already given up 2 base hits to the first 2 batters and 2 balls to Braden Lukart, so some dangerous top of the lineup work he'll have to go through.
Next pitch is taken inside for ball 3, and Lukart's in a very favorable situation here. In his start against the Mustangs on the 22nd, 6 innings, 1 run, no hits allowed for the Mustangs, but 3 walks were able to get drawn by the Stangs lineup. The Mustangs already proven their offensive worth so far today with 2 hits in the first. There's a soft tapper over to the first baseman. The toss over to second is high, but in time. It's the only play that Anderson has. So the fielder's choice ground out gets Frank Gall. Oh, looking like the ball was thrown too high, and off of second base was Bazemore, so an infield single.
Anderson had to go leaping for that one, and Frank Gall using this good speed to get under anything and find his way on safely. So that loads the bases, brings up the cleanup hitter, Boston Bruce. He's got a lot to clean up with no outs.
So the bases are loaded for very dangerous Boston Bruce. 4 home runs on the season for him as he takes that first pitch just a tad high for ball 1. And it's looking like it's getting ruled an error. So 2 errors for Clarinda here in the bottom of the first. Not the start you're wanting if you're an A's fan. But this is exactly what you want to see from the Mustangs. Bases loaded, nobody out with your very dangerous power hitter. Now facing a 1-1 count after a swing and miss. Boston Bruce, one of 3 All-Stars in today's lineup. Lane Chapman, a 4th All-Star pitching today for the Mustangs. Slider is taken outside for ball 2. Hedges, a product of Angelo State University, just transferred over to Missouri Southern. Getting a great opportunity after playing here in the Mink League and having a pretty solid season. The 1-2-1 offering over the plate, but just a tad low. Looked like it might have been a strike at the knees, but a favorable call from our home plate umpire tonight. Makes the count now 3-1 on Boston.
Boston Bruce, the one thing you don't want to do here is strike out. It gives them an easy out with your bases loaded. Just put the ball in play, give the chance for a big hit here.
Bruce sends that high and out of play down the right field side. Fastball that was tailing away, might have been ball 4. But nonetheless, a full count here to Boston Bruce. Bases loaded. First and third are playing closer towards the infield grass, with second and short playing closer towards the outfield. Looking like they'll see the run on a ground ball. And Bruce able to get just a piece of that as he sends that back to the netting, staying alive. Waiting on deck is Carson Schrack. Schrack, a mid-season addition for the Mustangs. Played very well for them. So the 3-2 count here to the future St. Louis Billiken is hit into right field. Coming in to grab it is the right fielder Cooper Knight. But Chris Coy and his speed is going to dash his way home to first. So a sacrifice fly for Boston Bruce. Bringing home the first run of the game. Mustangs lead early 1-0.
Mustangs strike first. A well-hit ball by Boston Bruce. Right fielder doing a great job coming to get under it. So still Mustangs have 2 runners on. Puts Clarinda still in a dangerous spot.
Carson Schrack coming on up. His 8 games played so far for the Mustangs. .345 batting average. 12 runs coming in so far. First pitch he sees is taken high for a ball, and that goes into left field on an attempted stolen base. Coming on home by the error by the catcher is Frank Gall. He scores the second run of the game, and Mustangs, after having a very tough time against Clarinda in their first matchup here at the Phil, up 2-0 very early on. Good sign of things to come after the successful stolen base and the reaching of home by Frank Gall.
Huge misplay by Olsen, just got too ahead of himself, rushed it. Schrack's left-handed hitter, so he didn't have anybody in the way throwing down. He would have had him, but also good heads up base running by Gall to get home.
The count's now 1-1 on Carson Schrack. And Gabe, as I was doing a little bit of research, in the 8 games that Carson has played so far, the Mustangs have won every single one of them. I don't know if that's just a sign of things to come, but it seems that whenever he's in the lineup, good things do tend to happen for the Stangs, and we're seeing that a bit early as they're currently up 2-0.
Got a runner on, and Schrack's up at the plate. You got a guy in scoring position who also has some speed, so I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Hart's out there able to find his way around.
Luke Hart, 7 steals on the year, having a small lead over at second base. 2-1 offering taken just outside for ball 3. The Mustangs hitters being very patient here against Hedges. Very unlike what we've seen from them so far this season. We've seen them be really aggressive in the early goings of each game before settling down later on. But taking a lot of pitches here from Hedges, who's rapidly approaching the 20 pitch mark. 3-1 offering outside for ball 4. Carson Schrack takes his free 90 feet. There's still 1 out here in the bottom of this first. 2 men are on for the 6-hole hitter, Jaden Little. And seeing Jaden Little here at first base, having an amazing year for the Stangs, batting 6th. You'd think he'd be in a little bit of a rough stretch. Conversely, he's been having one of his best seasons. He's batting .384 in the year, leads the entire Mink League in hits coming into today. but he takes that first pitch in there for a called strike. So 0-1 here on All-Star Jaden Little.
Not one of the biggest power hitters in this lineup, but definitely one of the more productive. So he swings at one down and away for strike 2.
Little, despite his incredible batting average, has also had trouble with the strikeout. Currently tied on the team with 23 coming into today. But still reaching base at a 384 clip. That's 8th best in the entire Mink League. The 0-2 offering is a high fastball, swung on and missed, and he's retired via the swing and K for out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. Coming up to plate is Tyler Gundelfinger, who's just having an incredible second half of the season. Really scuffled to start the year, seeing his batting average in there in the mid-200s, but now he's currently batting .342. That's 14th in the Mink League. So the Mustangs offense really coming alive here in the early goings. First pitch to Tyler, taken just a tad outside for ball 1. And Gundelfinger getting the day off from the field. He's designated hitting tonight. Schrack moves over in his place. 1-0 offering is fouled back to the netting to even count out 1-1. The A's defense tonight has Locken over in left, Young in center, and Knight over in right. Going around the mound, you have Gill at third, Bazemore at short, Baumgart at second, and Anderson at first, with Hedges on the mound and Olsen behind the plate tonight. The 1-1 offering, over the plate but low. Good take there by Gundelfinger as the count's now 2-1. I've seen Gundelfinger be really patient at the plate so far this season, as nearly double the amount of walks compared to strikeouts so far in the year. It's a soft foul ball, foul back, even the count out at 2-2. th pitch of the inning coming here for Clay Hedges. He's given up 2 runs on 1 hit, but has not had great defense behind him. 3 errors already in the game for Clarinda. We had a decent crowd here tonight at the Phil. Starting to fill in as the game's getting going. Have a little bit of an earlier start tonight. About 6:40 first pitch. Two-two offering is a soft tapper up the middle. Taking it to the bag is Cole Baumgart, getting the force out at second base for out number 3. But nonetheless, the Mustangs able to get 2 across here in the bottom of the first. They lead 2-0 in the early goings. We're going into the home half, the top half of the second right after this here on YouTube. Alrighty, folks, welcome back here to the top of the second inning. Mustangs taking an early 2-0 lead over the visiting Clarinda A's. Braden Olson coming on up for the first time tonight. Swings and misses there, quickly finding himself in an 0-2 hole from Lane Chapman, who had a great top of the first. After 2 early base hits, able to retire Baumgart and Young for the final 2 outs. Olson tonight is an all-star starter, catcher catching tonight. That next pitch taken just a tad high, so the count is now 1-2 here on Olson, who is our Taco K batter of the evening. The 1-2 offering to Olson, taken way inside. Olson lays off, evens the count out at 2-2. Olson used to play for the University of Purdue, all the way out in Indiana. Recently transferred over to St. Thomas in Minnesota. Takes that pitch and fouls it off to the right side, keeping the count at 2-2. (6'2", 205 from St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. The 2-2 offering is hit in the center field, and coming in to make the grab is Jaden Little. Is Braden Lucart, my apologies, for the first out here in the top of the second. So Olson retired via the F8. Bringing up Parker McNeil, designated hitting tonight. Grant Locken waiting on deck, and Andy Gill, the 9-hole hitter, sitting in the hole. The first pitch to McNeil is fouled off to the left. 7th batter of the evening for Clarinda. And the 6th one to have fallen into an 0-1 hole to begin his at-bat. That next pitch taken just a tad low. Evens the count out at 1-1. McNeil, product of Central Alabama Community College. Swings and misses over the top of that fastball, making the count now 1-2. And I believe he's the only player from Alabama we have playing in the Mink League this year. We got players from all around the world getting to play here, from DR, from Japan, from Venezuela, as well as all over the country. The 1-2 offering over the plate but low, a nice soft slider there. But then 2-2 count here to McNeil as he's able to lay off the off speed. Two and two, 1 out here in the top of the second. The pitch. Swung on and foul tipped. Not able to get grabbed there by Bruce behind the mound, so another pitch being able to seen here by McNeil. Chapman coming into today, having a really good season for the Stangs, 3.43 ERA and 21 innings pitched. Does get a whole lot of strikeouts, 30 strikeouts on the year compared to only 5 walks. That next pitch is taken just outside, so 3-2 count here to Parker McNeil. So a ridiculous 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio here. Chapman looking to retire his second batter of the inning, but that next pitch is fouled off to the left side and back. Neal putting on a good fight here in the second inning. Chapman needed 17 pitches to retire the side back in the first, compared to 30 needed by Clay Hedges. But so far, some prolonged at-bats between Olson and McNeil have brought that pitch count a little bit up. Soft grounder over to second base. Winkler has it. The toss over to first is true. And a battle won by Chapman. 2 outs here in the top of the second. So Grant Locken coming on up. He's playing left field tonight. .255 batting average so far on the year. Only one extra base hit coming into today. But a consistent contributor here at the bottom of the lineup here for this powerful A's offense, who's kind of sputtered as of late. First pitch to Locken is taken right down at the knees for a called strike. So 0-1 here to count to Grant. A's playing their first game since last Saturday, game at Chillicothe that they lost in 10 innings, 6-5. Now walked off by the Mudcats. Next pitch is taken over the plate, but low, so it evens the count out at 1-1. After a start that saw them reach nearly 20 wins with only about 2 losses, really struggled since 4-6 in their past 10 games coming into today. It's a soft grounder to the left side, fouling out of play. With strangely some losses against some of the bottom feeders here in the Mink League. The past couple games, a loss at Chillicothe twice. Loss at North Missouri, who did end up getting a chance to beat the Mustangs last night, 6-4, ending the Mustangs' 9-game winning streak. But also getting a couple of good wins, notably at Carroll a week ago. There's a soft grounder over to third base. The throw over to first is in time. So a 1-2-3 inning here for Chapman retires the side in the top of the second. After 1.5, the Mustangs still lead 2-0. We're going to the home half of the second here on YouTube. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back to the home half. The second, 8-9-1 due up for the Mustangs as the Hedges coming out for a second inning of work. First pitch to Seth Winkler, taken low and away for ball 1. Winkler had been seeing a lot of time at second base early on in the season, but with Schrack, he'd been taking a couple of spots at the designated hitting spot. Toss over to first is not in time as Winkler able to get the infield hit. It's a soft bouncer over to the second baseman, Baumgart, and he had to make a diving attempt to throw that over to first, way out of the way. So an infield hit is how I would rule it, but we'll see if that gets ruled as a 4th error in the early goings for the A's. But Winkler nonetheless on the board, sitting over at first base, is ruled a base hit. So an infield single for Seth Winkler. For Carter Belton, toss over to first is not in time. Winkler able to dive back to the bag safely. Does have a little bit of speed out there. 7 stolen bases on the year. So the Mustangs have been pretty aggressive over there. Another throw back over to first, and he's back in safely. Belton, a pretty big power hitter here, but pretty much been all or nothing so far this season as he takes that first pitch inside for a called strike. Been seeing a little less playing time as of late. Charles Stevens getting a bit more playing time out there in right and left field. Same with Isaiah Kettler. The toss over to first is in time. Looked like Winkler was going to be going on first movement, but he's able to scamper back safely. So Belton only seeing one pitch so far, whereas Winkler has seen 3 pickoffs. That next pitch is taken way inside. Belton has to turn out of the way of that one. Evens the count out at 1-1. Belton on the year, 3 home runs, tying him with Jaden Little for second on the team. That next pitch taken inside, ball 2. Braden Lucart leads the team with 4 after his 2 home run game a couple days ago. 2-1 offering. High and outside, but fouled off down the right field line. Evens the count out at 2-2. Chris Coy waiting on deck. He singled his first time up into left center. Winkler's lead now a lot smaller over there at first, and that curveball goes over the head of Belton, able to get snagged by Olson. Makes the count now full. Belton drawing his fair share of walks so far this season, 11 walks. He does tend to strike out a bit, 19 strikeouts on the year. It's a high fly ball down the left field side, hooking out of play. Landing right over there on the left field berm, keeping the count at 3-2. So full count here to Carter Belton, 9-hole hitter for the Mustangs tonight. Seth Winkler sitting at first. The pitch. Curveball that doesn't curve, allowing Belton to take his free 90 feet. A 7-pitch battle being won by Carter, putting 2 men on here in the bottom of the second. And the top of the order coming on up as we've got our first mound visit here for Clarinda tonight. Clarinda really in a top stretch right now, and St. Joseph in a very good stretch. They're playing their baseball of the season. St. Joe looking to grab any ground they can here in the playoff races. We've got just about 2 weeks left of the regular season. We've got 3 games this weekend, 4 games next weekend. Games on Thursday, Friday, and a doubleheader next Saturday against the Natties. Before we get the Mink League playoffs starting on Monday, July, I believe that is 27th. So Chris Coy batting with 2 men on. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. There's a balk that's called. Pitch that's thrown but nearly hits our home plate umpire. So that's a rare sight. You don't see a balk get called very often. But nonetheless, that's allowing both runners to advance free 90 feet. 2 runners in scoring position now for Chris Coy, still facing a no-0 count. That first pitch to Chris is taken right on the outside edge for a called strike 1. Coy had been scoring up to bunt right before the balk was called, so he maybe was looking to get a safety squeeze. But nonetheless, being gifted those free 90 feet. The 0-1 offering is fouled off. Count goes 0-2. Coy singled back in the first, came around to score. Frank Gall, his last time up, who's waiting on deck, also came around to score. The 0-2 offering. There's a swing and a drive out into right field. Coming on to make the catch is Cooper Knight. Winkler dashing over to home plate. The throw to home is not in time. Bouncer not caught by the cutoff man, Theo Anderson, but a sac fly bringing around the game's 3rd run, Chris Coy. Delivering a 3-0 lead now for the Stangs. Winkler coming across to score, and Belton able to make his way to 3rd on the sac fly. Brings up Frank Gall with 1 out. Belton 90 feet away. The Mustangs pounding it on early here against Clarinda. First pitch is taken inside. 1-0 the count now here to Frank. Frank hit his second home run of the season against Chillicothe a couple days ago. Playing quite well for the Stangs as of late. That next pitch taken low and inside for ball 2. After a good first game for the Stangs, then proceeded to go on an 0 for 15 stretch, but broke that with a line drive home run over the right field wall, and he's been tearing the ball ever since. Takes that next pitch way outside for ball 3, so he's facing a very favorable 3-0 count. He's the third Mustang batter to do so tonight here against Clay Hedges. Hedges sets and delivers. There's a ball at the top of the strike zone. Goes up 3-1. Pitching out of the stretch, Hedges not a very big leg lift. Just a little bit of a left leg hover, I would say, over the home plate. We'll see that on this next pitch. Next offering hit up the middle. Grounder too high for the shortstop, Sean Bazemore. So an RBI single for Frank Gall, and another run is home. Carter Belton coming home. RBI single. And the Mustangs already have a 4-0 lead with only one out here at the bottom of the second. So Gall sitting over at first, and Braden Lucart, who reached on an error by the first baseman, back in first. Officially 0 for 1 today. First pitch he sees is over the plate but low. Takes that pitch for ball 1. Next pitch is grounded down the right field line, hooking just foul. Braden Lucart was all over that fastball by Hedges. It evens the count out at 1-1. 50th pitch of the evening coming up here for Hedges. We'll see how long Clarinda keeps him in. One of their innings leaders despite having pitched in a month. 21 innings coming into today. Curveball's taken just outside. Count now 2-1. Lucart steps out, takes his time. Resets himself. Gall sitting over there at first, and a line driver over to second base is in time. And the throw over to first, and Gall is doubled off. He was going on the pitch, and unfortunate double play there ends the Mustangs' threat in the bottom of the second. But 2 runs able to come across. Seth Winkler and Carter Belton scoring for the Stangs, and they lead 4-0 after 2. We're going into the 3rd inning here on your home of the Stangs. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back to the Mustangs home here on YouTube. We're going to the top half of the third. Folks, if you're listening, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment. We just passed the 1,000 subscribers, which was our goal coming into the season, and we've still got 2 weeks. So nonetheless, we appreciate all of your support, guys. Thank you guys so much from everybody on our team, from me and Gabe and Nathaniel and all the rest of the folks here in St. Joe. It means the world to us. We can't wait to continue to produce some high-quality baseball here for you in the Mink League over these next couple weeks, especially we've got the playoffs coming around the corner. And Sean Bazemore is coming up for the second time tonight. 0-2 the count after he swung and missed at a nasty slider by Lane Chapman. That next pitch is right in there for a called strike 3. Slider there retires Bazemore, and the all-star getting out of the leadoff spot is really struggling this evening as he sees nothing great from Chapman. But he's retired for the first out here in the top of the third, and Cooper Knight coming on up for his second time tonight. Knight and Anderson, that man waiting on deck, have the 2 base hits so far this evening for the A's. So there's a grounder right back up to the middle to Chapman. The underhand toss is there in time, and Knight's retired on 1 pitch via the 1-3 ground out. 4 pitches in and 2 outs already recorded by Lane Chapman, who has yet to throw his 40th pitch of the evening, but now coming up to face Theo Anderson.
Anderson is, again, like we talked about earlier, one of the top batters in the Mink League, currently leads the league in batting average, batting .471. The A's have a lot of work to do. Already down 4 runs here in the top of the third. Started this game going fast.
And folks, I have to tell you, I accidentally had the wrong batters up. It was Andy Gill who struck out looking in the top of the third, and then Sean Bazemore just had that ground out. So Bazemore's still 0 for 2 on the night, but now this is now Cooper Knight coming on up. Faces a 2-1 count. Anderson's still waiting on deck, so
just a bit behind.
My apologies about that. But nonetheless, there's still 2 outs here. And there's a called strike right down there at the bottom of the zone. Makes the count now 2-2. So Cooper Knight 1 strike away. Chapman looking to get out of a very efficient top of the third. The pitch lined up the middle. Over to his right is Seth Winkler, but unable to make the grab. Cooper Knight reaching on an infield single, and he's 2 for 2 tonight with 2 singles.
Unfortunate misplay, but Ryler just walked in the booth, and Ryler, you had us, you helped us out last week, here and there, kind of jumped on some calls. Do you have any foul tips for us here in the top of the third?
No, because there's no foul tip hit.
You said what?
There was no foul tip hit, so I got no foul tip.
Oh, so we have to wait for a foul tip hit?
That's how you get foul tips.
Okay, well, we'll keep you. Oh.
That ball is hit down the right field line, and that is just in the bounds. Stopping over at third base is Knight, and Anderson getting into second with the 2-out double, hitting the 6-7 emote out there at second base. But Knight and Anderson really the only threats on offense tonight for the A's, is they're both 2 for 2 on the evening. The rest of the team yet to reach base safely. But bringing up Cole Baumgart, who is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field his last time up.
The runner on third came around a little too strong. He slid right into the grass. He looked like he was going to make his way home, but runners in scoring position. 2 outs, though, for the A's. Mustangs a chance to get out of it. Chapman on the mound.
Baumgart shoots that ball right down the right field line and out of play.
Well, that's a foul tip for you. So, Ryler, I'll hand it over to you for our first foul tip of tonight's game.
So for this foul tip, if it's going to be hot outside, might as well wear sunscreen so you don't get burned.
That's a great foul tip.
Just remember that for everybody. No one wants to be hurting tomorrow morning if you got work, if you got to get out there and play some ball. You don't want to be sunburned, so always keep yourself protected.
I wonder if baseball players wear sunscreen out there, because you see the outfield, they're just standing out there in the sun.
I'm sure you'd have to. But Ryler, thank you for that foul tip. We appreciate it. It's always helpful information from him.
Ryler making his broadcast debut a couple days ago when we had our Mustangs versus the St. Joe All-Stars. 1-1 offering, fouled back. They can count now 1 and 2 here on Baumgart. And Ryler, our main sound guy here for the Mustangs, bringing such a fun vibe here to the stadium every single night.
Yeah, he's always got something. And, strikeout, he's got about 3 or 4 buttons on the soundboard he pushes, and it's just an assortment of sounds for an assortment of plays.
That ball is lined out into center field, and that's going to drop for the base hit. So a 2 RBI single for Cole Baumgart, allowing the first 2 runs to come across here for Clarinda. Having a nice 2-out rally here from the top of the order. That puts him on first, and Andrew Young coming on up with a chance to add it, make it more. Mustangs leads now cut to 4-2. First 2 runs given up today by Lane Chapman. Andrew Young coming on out there. Lefty on lefty matchup, a nice front door slider going in there for strike 1. Young, a victim of the strikeout to end the top of the first. First pitch is a line directly over to third base. Strack positioned perfectly. And down goes Clarinda, but not without drawing a bit of blood. After 2.5, the Mustangs lead 4-2 after a 2-run RBI single there by Cole Baumgart at the top of the third. We'll be right back here on YouTube on your home of the Mustangs right after this.
Mustangs win, you win. Head to Fireside Sports Bar and Grill or Women's Grill at St. Joe Casino to get $10 off in your life.
Your eyes to the sky, if you want to eat more chicken at Chick-fil-A. Our army of Chick-fil-A cows are here to eat free food. If your cow doesn't own the gift card, come to the promo table, we'll leave you one.
Well, leading off the Mustangs here at the bottom of the third, pitcher Boxley Group.
Welcome back to the home half of the third inning. Clarinda drawing their first blood of the game. Mustangs up 4-2 here in the early goings of the game. Heart of the order coming on up as Boston Bruce takes that first pitch just a tad high for ball 1. Coming up against Clay Hedges out for his third inning of work. That next pitch taken just a tad outside. Bruce facing a very favorable 2-0 count. Bruce 0 for 0 on the day today with a sacrifice fly back in the first. That next pitch is taken way low and outside. Gets away from the catcher, Olsen. Now facing a very favorable 3-0 count. Hedges not having the best command so far today, and that continues to happen as that fastball runs way high and inside, and Bruce takes his 4-pitch walk to begin the third. Third walk of the day given up by Clay Hedges. Carson Schrack coming on up for his second time tonight. He was the recipient of the first walk. Was doubled off to end the top of the first. That first pitch taken outside for ball 1. And Schrack to begin this inning, 5 straight balls. Really struggling here today, as we're seeing maybe a little bit of work out there in the Clarinda bullpen. There's a soft tapper down the right field line, but curling just out of play. Schrack didn't leave the batter's box. He had a pretty high confidence that was going foul. But the count evens at 1-1. Austin Bruce, product of Johnson County Community College, won a national title with them this season. Transferring over to St. Louis, University of St. Louis, being a Billiken next year, playing in the A-10. That pitch is over the plate and low for ball 2. Having a great season here for the Stings. In the Mink League player ratings that came out about a month ago, he was rated as the best overall player. Not for his stats that he's had so far this year, but because of the level of competition he has. There's a pickoff over to first by the catcher after that ball was high, and Bruce is able to dive back in safely. It was based off of his position, which is catcher, and the level of competition that he plays, and just the overall impact that he has on the field. He's rated as the best here in the Mink League, and so far he's been really solid for the Stangs here. That is taken inside for ball 4, and that's back-to-back walks to begin the bottom of the third for Jaden Little. Jaden Little, an all-star so far this season, out there at first base tonight. Batting with 2 men on, was a strikeout victim back in the first, so he's 0 for 1 tonight. Little getting set, righty on righty matchup with 2 men on. Sits the square and the sacrifice bunt. The throw over to first is in time. A perfect sac bunt right there by Jaden Little, allowing both runners to advance to their next base. So 2 men in scoring position now and 1 out for Tyler Gundelfinger, who had a 4 unassisted ground out to end bottom of the first inning. Gundelfinger, who hit the Mustangs' first and only grand slam 2 weeks ago against Nevada. 2 men in scoring position here as he sends that one sky high, playable for all the members of the infield, but going over to his left to make the catch is Sean Basmore over there at short. So 2 quick outs after that P6. And that brings up Seth Winkler, who had an infield single back in the second. Also came around to score, so a good night for him so far. Winkler, the opening day second baseman for the Stings. Seen a couple more innings as a relief pitcher for the Stings in these past couple weeks. Ceding a lot of his time at second over to Carson Schrack, who's been playing phenomenally here for the Mustangs. But he takes that first pitch high and outside for ball 1. Waiting on deck is Carter Belton, who has also drawn a walk and scored so far tonight. Good job by the bottom of the order for continuing their impact that the Stings have had here on the offensive side of the ball. Count goes to 2-0 here to Seth, and it's probably one of the most offensively rounded lineups that the Mustangs have put out on the field so far this season. That next pitch taken outside for ball 3. You have stars at nearly every position tonight. And the weakest link, honestly, is probably Carter Belton out there and left, and I wouldn't call him a weak link at all. He's been playing really well for the Stangs this year, courtesy of his 3 home runs. The 3-0 offering is taken down low and over the plate, so a 4-pitch walk to Winkler loads the bases for Carter Belton. 3 walks have allowed 3 runners to get on base, but there's still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Belton with the chance to blow this game wide open. And this is a lineup that I think that we'll start to see a little bit more often as we're starting to reach the playoffs. Seen a lot of play from players like Eden Myers, Isaiah Kettler. There's a soft grounder over to shortstop. It's a tough play, and the E is safe. So an infield single for Carter Belton, allowing a run to come home. It was a nice dribbler that Schrack had to avoid over there on the run from second to third. But nonetheless, Boston Bruce coming home. Mustangs lead 5-2 on the RBI infield single by Carter Belton. Schrack sitting over there at third. Winkler over at second, and Carter Belton over at first for Chris Coy, who's coming up for his 3rd time in 3 innings. And he's hit by a pitch, so an RBI hit by pitch by Chris Coy, allowing another run to come across. Not the most pleasant way to bring home a run, but he was hit right there on the elbow pad. Looked to be okay. But the Mustangs, after giving up 2 runs in the top of the inning, have scored 2 more here in the bottom half. Their lead's back now up to 4. Score's now 6-2 in favor of the home team. Winkler at third, Belton at second, and Chris Coy over at first. And this is going to be the end of the night for Clay Hedges. Tough night for him in his return to the mound in nearly a month. We're going to take a quick break as this next reliever comes in to take the ball. But after 2 2/3, Mustangs lead at 6-2 here on your home of the Stings. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hunter Doyle coming back to the mound. Relief pitching already in for the A's as that first pitch is slammed out into right field. Going back is the right fielder, and that's off the wall. 1 run is home, 2 runs are home, and coming in with a bases clearing double is Frank Gall. 3 runs coming across. Mustangs now lead 9-2. The A's have been falling apart here in the game as 5 runs have now come across here for the Mustangs. Frank Gall saw the first pitch from Doyle, and he absolutely crushed that out into right field over the head of Cooper Knight. If that ball was 2 feet higher, that might have been a grand slam. So the Mustangs now lead 9-2 after that bases clearing RBI double. And Braden Lukart coming on up. He is the 9th batter of the inning for the Stangs. First pitch Braden sees is taken outside for ball 1. And Hunter Doyle, I didn't even get a chance to talk a little bit about him before Gall sent that pitch out into deep right field. Product of Fort Scott Community College out there in Kansas, hometown of Billings, Montana. Redshirt freshman. The 1-0 offering taken way inside. Ball now 2-0. Boston Bruce, who led off this inning with a 4-pitch walk, waiting on deck. The Mustangs are up 7. Shocking turn of events here. 2-0 offering right there on the outside edge for the called strike. Braden Lukart coming in today, leading the Mustangs with batting average at .420. He's 0 for 2 today with an error back in the first and a line-out double play in the second to end the inning. There goes Gall. The throw over to third is not in time, but Gall slid off the base. Too fast out there. He had the stolen base. But that ends the inning, but not before 5 runs come across, and the Mustangs, after 3, have a commanding 9-2 lead. We're going into the 4th inning. We'll be right back here on YouTube right after this. Back to the 4th inning. It's been all Mustangs here in the early goings of this game. They lead 9-2 over the visiting Clarinda A's. Very good team that the Mustangs are playing tonight, but they've been falling apart in the past couple weeks. On the season, the Mustangs are 1-3 against Clarinda, with their only win coming back on the 5th of July, so a couple of weeks ago. That was an 11-2 victory at Clarinda. So the first pitch here to Braden Olson is lifted deep out into left field, and that's going to be over the wall. A home run, allowing a run to come across in the fourth inning. First home run of the year given up by Lane Chapman. And that is Braden Olson's 7th home run of the year. That leads the Mink League by a long shot. So the deficit is now 6 runs for Clarinda. Mustangs up now 9-3 after a first pitch swinging, first pitch crushing to lead off the top of the 4th. Parker McNeil coming on up, taking a strike right down there at the knees to go down 0-1. 0 for 1 tonight with a ground out to second his last time up. Taking another strike round out on the knees to go down 0-2. Chapman really settling in here. There's a grounder over to the second baseman. Nice snag there by Winkler. The toss over to first is in time. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th and 2 ground outs to second for Parker tonight. Nine to 3 is our score here in the 4th inning. 3 runs on 6 hits with 3 errors for the A's. 9 runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Stags. Chapman sets, delivers a first pitch strike right down at the knees to the 8-hole hitter Grant Locken. Called strike to go up 0-1 in the count. Locken 0 for 1 tonight with a ground out to third his last time up. Takes that next pitch low and inside for ball 1 to even the count out to 1-1 all. The 1-1 offering. Slider taken inside. Locken able to hold off. So the count now 2-1. Product of Southeastern Community College out there in Iowa. Takes that next slider right there on the outer half. Nice backdoor slider to even the count out at 2-2. Locken, 23 games played out there at Southeast, .250 batting average, 2 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Takes that next pitch outside for ball 3, so he's facing a full count. Chapman on the night, 2 strikeouts to no walks so far this evening. Looking to keep that streak going. The pitch. Taken outside, and that's a ball for ball 4. So a walk there to Grant Locken is the first walk of tonight's evening. Only the 6th walk given up by Chapman all year. Coming into today, 5 walks to 30 strikeouts. But a man on for Andy Gill, who struck out looking on 3 pitches back in the 3rd, sends a ball over to the first baseman Little. No play over to second, but the toss over to first is in time. A nice 3-1 play to get Gill out at first for out number 2. Fielder's choice allowing Glocken to advance over to second, and that brings up Sean Basmore. It's 0 for 2 tonight with 2 groundouts. First pitch Basmore sees is a check swing, but ruled not going around, so keeps the count 1-0. A former product of the University of Texas at Tyler. College I've always liked is, my name is Tyler, out there in Tyler, Texas. But he swings and sends a ball high and deep into center field. Going back on it is Lukart, and that's going to bounce off the wall for the base hit. 1 run is home. The throw goes over to third, and Bazemore is safe at second base with the stand-up RBI double. Lead is now 9-4 in favor of the Mustangs. So a little bit of two-out rally here once again. That's how the 2 runs were able to come across back in the 3rd inning. And coming up to bat's Cooper Knight, who is 2 for 2 this evening. 2 singles. And Chapman looking to keep any more damage from coming across here in the 4th. That first pitch is taken at the knees, just a tad low. So ball 1 here to Cooper Knight. So 2 balls hit deep out in the outfield, one of them going over for the homer. 4 runs now here for Clarinda. The 1-0 offering, another slider taken just a tad low. So 2-0 here on Cooper. Chapman looking to get out of the inning. We'll see how much longer he stays in the game. Generally goes about 5 innings. Couple of outings so far this year, going out to 6. 2-0 offering. There is a strike, and the throw over the third on the pickoff attempt is not in time. So a stolen base by Sean Bazemore, putting him 90 feet away. So 2-1 the count here to Cooper Knight, and that throw over to third was a good one by Bruce. Fortunately, it was over towards the foul side of the bag rather than the infield side. Had it been a little more accurate, I think he had a great shot at getting Bazemore out there at third. The 2-1 offering to Knight, taking just a tad inside for ball 3. So a very favorable count here. Bazemore sitting at third after driving in a run with that RBI double. The 3-1 offering, taken just a tad high, and there's another walk here. 2 walks so far this inning for Chapman, and that's highly unusual coming into today. But that puts runners on the corners here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th, with Theo Anderson, who's 2 for 2 today, coming on up. Got a first meeting on the mound here for the Stangs. Head coach Johnny Coy coming on up. Hopefully helping Chapman settle down.
You know, Tyler, I've always wondered what they say in those meetings.
I've wondered too. I mean, I've never been on the field professionally, but sometimes I
We could
gotta
be.
think
It's never too late.
it's never too late.
Actually, it might be.
That's the quitter's
Just a little.
mentality. You gotta think positive.
Of course.
So 2-1 and 2 outs here for Theo Anderson. Taking a strike right there on the outside edge for called strike 1. Very dangerous hitter, 471 batting average coming into today, and he is not disappointed. 2 for 2 tonight. Chapman looking to get him retired, end the inning. The 0-1 offering swung on and missed. 0-2 now the count. Anderson was way in front of an off-speed pitch there by Chapman. Expecting the heater high, but instead the slider came in just a tad low. So 0-2 the count. 2 men on. 2 runs already coming across here in the top of the 4th. Runners go, and that's hit deep in the left center field. Going back on it is Belton, and he's not in time. That rolls to the wall. And 2 more runs are going to come across. Another 6-7 emote out there for Theo Anderson, and that's 4 runs now here in the 4th inning. Mustangs lead is dwindled now down to 9-6. Pre-game, and during our pre-game show, if you were here at the Phil, One of our pre-game show hosts, Jackson, was talking about how this game might be a pretty low-scoring game, as we've seen a lot of really good pitching from both of these teams so far. Needless to say, I think he was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very much wrong. I mean, 11 runs scored in the first 3 innings, and
Make that 15 runs now.
Yeah, 15 runs now, and they're heading out to the bullpen here for the Mustangs, awaiting the decision on if we're going to see a pitching change or not for the Mustangs here.
We do have action out there in the Mustangs bullpen, but my guess is he'll probably need at least one more batter to get ready. So Cole Baumgart coming on up for his 3rd time tonight. Chapman going to have to make it through at least one more batter. But Anderson out there is now 3 for 3 tonight. 2 doubles and a single, as well as a run scored. Hopefully that's the only run he scores this evening. But both teams just having whatever they want here at the plate tonight. First pitch to Baumgart is a swing and a miss on a nice off speed. Counts now 0-1. So leadoff homer to begin the top of the 4th. 2 more outs were able to get quickly recorded by Chapman, but past 4 batters have all been able to reach, as there's a swing and a miss. Make the count now 0-2. So 0-2 the count. Mustangs still lead by 3. Still in the early goings of the game, only in the top of the 4th. The 0-2 offering swung on and lazily swung and missed. A strikeout swing in for Cole Baumgart ends the top of the 4th, but 4 runs are able to come across for the A's, and we have a very entertaining game on our hands, folks. The Mustangs lead 9-6 after 3.5. We'll be right back here on your home, the Mustangs on YouTube. We'll be back after this.
Start making your choice here. Oh, he's running. He picks Daddy. Okay, a little confusion, but he stands by his granddad, which means Dad gets a pie in the face. Maybe wear that for a minute.
Well, leading off here at the bottom of the 4th, Sheriff.
We're going into the home half of the 4th inning. Mustangs lead 9-6 over Clarinda. Hunter Doyle in relief of Clay Holmes coming on out for his first full inning of work. Sends first pitch ball to Braden Lukart, who was facing a 2-1 count, but after a failed stolen base by Frank Gall, he comes back up with his count reset. Swings and misses over the top of the fastball just below the bat. Count even at 1-1. So Lukart tonight 0 for 2 with reaching on an error in the first and a line-out double play back in the second. The pitch. Way in front of that fastball as he sends that right down the right field line and out of play. So 2-2 now the count. 1-2 the count. Doyle gave up a bases clearing RBI double to Frank Gall in his first at bat. And here in his second batter face, he's facing a 2-2 count to Lukart. The pitch. Lined right up the middle and out of the reach of the shortstop Bazemore for a base hit. So a leadoff single for Braden Lukart to lead off the bottom of the fourth, bringing up Boston Bruce, who's 0 for 0 tonight. 2 plate appearances, but yet to register an official one. So the count is as he takes that first pitch high for ball 1. Sacrifice fly back in the first, and a walk and a run scored back in the third. It's the catalyst that started the rain to fall back in the third. And there's a lazy fly ball out and out of play. Hit just the top of us on the roof. Counts now 1-1. Lukart 7 steals on the season, putting him tied for third with Seth Winkler. Chris Coy leads the team with 11, and Micah Kobaszewski, who's getting the day off today, second on the team with 10. The 1-1 offering is a slider way outside. Count now going 2-1 here on Boston. Boston with 2 home runs on the year. Getting a great opportunity. Check swing foul ball down the right field line. Accidental swing there, but count staying at 2-2. Doyle's taking a while out there on the mound. Sets and delivers. There's a high fly pop up into shallow right field. Going out to make the grab is the second baseman, Cole Baumgart. And Boston Bruce is retired for the first out here in the
third baseman Carson Schrack.
Carson Schrack making his way up. He's 0 for 0 tonight with 2 walks and a run scored. First pitch he sees is taken outside for ball 1. And Schrack has really been a revelation here for the team. Product of Southeast Missouri University. Arrived on the scene at the beginning of the month, and he's done nothing but hit for the Mustangs. 1-0 offering is swung on and missed, just a tad high there. This count evens out at 1-1. Coming in today with a .345 batting average, placing him in the top 20 in the Mink League. Already 10 hits on the year, 12 runs scored. It's really helped the Mustangs start to pick up here in the month of July, as there's a short hopper over to second base. There's no play over to second, but the toss over to first is in time. So a fielder's choice ground out for Carson Schrack. Allows the runner to advance to second, but there's 2 outs here at the bottom of the fourth for Jaden Little. 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout in the first and a sac bunt back in the third. The big righty batting .360 coming in today. Looking for an opportunity to help the Mustangs reclaim a little bit of their lead that they saw dwindle after 4 runs came across in the top of the inning. First pitch to Jaden, slider outside. Doyle, primarily a man out of the bullpen for Fort Scott Community College. 3-3 record with save in his redshirt freshman season. There's a high fly ball into medium deep center field. Going back on it's the center fielder, Andrew Young, and he's going to make the easy grab for the final out of the inning. Mustangs threaten, but can't get anything to come across as they still lead 9-6 after 4. We're going into the 5th inning here on your home of the Stangs on YouTube. We'll be right back right after this.
It's always a party with pizza shop, and StJo legend Jesse James probably partying a little bit, but he also stole a lot. So we've got our contestant here. What's your name? All right, so you have 15 seconds to go down, grab that base, come back, and run through the finish line. If you win, you win a gift certificate to pizza shop. All right, on your mark, get set, go. That's already off here for the skyline. Look at that amazing right there. You forgot the base. You forgot the base. It's too late. Oh no. He's under arrest. Oh wow. And you are out of time. If he did forget the base, it's probably in there. And goes for effort.
Go to your number to see the best gift their pocket and take them down to Anthony Rizzo to the opportunity. It's your time. If you have a good day, here's your week. So a bright spot. It's Dr. Anthony Rizzo. Well, these are all for the ladies here at the top of this. So go and do them.
Going into the 5th inning here on your home of the Mustangs. They lead 9-6 over the visiting Clarinda A's. First pitch strike here to Andrew Young, the only batter to have not batted back in the 4th, where 4 runs came across for the A's as they bit into a massive lead. That next pitch is taken inside for ball 1. And we got a We do have a new pitcher on the mound here for the Stangs, number 10. Nope, sorry, I apologize. Lane Chapman's still out there, but a lazy fly ball out to left field for the first out here in the inning. We did see some bullpen action to end the top of the 4th, but Lane Chapman's still out there after just being shy of 80 pitches. So Braden Olson, who's 1 for 2 tonight with a moonshot of a homer his last time up in the 4th, coming on up. Takes the first pitch slider right down the middle for called strike 1. Olson is our Taco K batter of the evening and does lead the league in home runs coming into today and added another with his 7th shot of the year. Takes that next pitch just a tad outside for ball 1. So the 1-1 count is taken outside. Ball 2 now. Olson with a fly ball to center field back in the 2nd, and the home run over the left field wall in the 4th. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the mitt of the catcher. Counts now 2-2. Chapman in the mid-80s right now, pitching-wise. And he sends that one over the plate, but just a tad low. Full count now to Braden Olson.
That one looked like it might have gotten the zone there, but umpire thinking the opposite of what we were up here in the booth.
But a 3-2 count here to Olson. The pitch. Just a tad high, ball 4, and very uncharacteristic night here for Lane Chapman, as that's his 3rd walk given up of the evening.
The Mustangs want to hold on to this lead. They've got to do it here in the middle innings. We've seen numerous games before they started their 9-game win streak where
they lost a lot of games due to the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. So we'll see if they're able to hold on here with their lead only as high as 3.
So first pitch strike getting put in there to Parker McCollum, who's 0 for 2 tonight with 2 ground outs to second. Be a great opportunity here to get another one, potentially a twin killing to get out of the inning. The 0-1 offering is swung on and missed, way out in front of a slider. So 0-2 count now here to Parker. And Chapman getting a lot of off-speed action here in the later innings. Really liking the feel of that slider after a fastball was hit by Olson. But a strikeout there on the front door puts it a second out here in the inning. McCollum retired via the backwards K. And Grant Lockin coming on up for his 3rd time tonight. He's 0 for 1. Fourth strikeout of the evening for Lane Chapman. 6 runs and 8 hits allowed by him. In addition to the 3 walks. It's a bluff by Olson over there at first, but the first pitch to Lockin, taken just on the inside for ball 1.
Runners looking awfully jumpy, trying to get Chapman to cause an error or improve their chances at the plate.
90th pitch of the evening for Chapman was fouled off down the right field side and out of play. So the count evens out to 1-1 here to Lockin. Chapman steps off the mound, grabs the rosin bag, sets himself back up. Readies himself and delivers. Fastball over the plate and low, ball 2. Both teams wearing their vest uniforms tonight. Mustangs wearing a white jersey with red sleeves. Clarinda with the red top and the powder blue sleeves and the powder blue pants. There's a high fly ball down the right field line, hooking out of play. Lockin now facing a 2-2 count. And Chapman 1 pitch away from getting out of a scoreless top of the 5th. So the 2-2 offering. Fastball just inside, so another full count, back-to-back. Sorry, that's 2 of the past 3 batters having to face full count here against Chapman.
Trying to drive up his pitch count before he's pulled from tonight's game. I expect him only facing a couple more batters out. One over to Coy at short. The throw in time for out number 3, and the Mustangs retire 3. No damage done in the top of the 5th. We're headed into the home half of the 5th here on YouTube.
Well, we all here at the bottom of the third session is Tyler Gundlefinger. We got caught out of the game. He was a hit. I thank you for the good prize. This was a good game. Come on down, let's go.
Going back to the home half of the fifth inning, Tyler Gundlefinger making his way up, in addition to Seth Winkler and Carter Belton. It's the bottom half of the order here for the Mustangs as they lead 9-6 over Clarinda. Hunter Doyle coming back out for his second full inning of work. The first pitch he delivers to Gundlefinger is a fastball hitting outside, but called a ball by our home plate umpire tonight. He now faces a 1-0 count. Lane Chapman currently sitting at 94 pitches for the Mustangs. Looks like his night might be done. Out in the bullpen, number 37, Braden Hines, looking really warm out there. We probably will be seeing him here in the sixth inning. The count's now 0-2 here on Tyler Gundlefinger. The pitch. Now the fastball in the spot that he likes on that outer half of the corner, but not called a strike by our home plate umpire, so the count now 1-2. Gundlefinger tonight in the designated hitting spot, 0 for 2 with a ground out and a pop-up. 1-2 offering. Fastball nicely corralled there by Olsen there at the plate. Count evens out at 2-2. Gundlefinger had been on a tear these past couple weeks. After starting the year with about a 200 batting average, he's raised it to 342 coming in tonight's game. And he sends that one down the right field line into the stands, and a foul ball. Fans able to dodge it, and another free souvenir out there for our little fans out there. Haven't seen as many foul balls tonight, but nonetheless, it's been a very action-packed night here between Mustangs and Clarinda. Mustangs leading 9-6. A 2-2 offering. Lined over him to left field for the base hit. Leadoff single back-to-back innings for the Mustangs as Tyler Gundlefinger makes his way over to first. Seth Winkler tonight, who's had a good night, he's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk and a run scored. Gundlefinger reaching his way on with his first base hit of the night. And Seth Winkler's had a lot of opportunities tonight with runners on base when he's coming up to bat. And he's been good. Taking over at second base tonight, Strack moved over to third. And he lines that one in the right center field for the base hit. Takes a couple of funky bounces, but coming over to make the grab is Andrew Young. And that's back-to-back singles on back-to-back pitchers for the Stangs to lead off the bottom of the fifth inning. An opposite single for Winkler makes his night now 2 for 2. And Carter Belton, who is also 1 for 1 with a single and a walk and a run scored, making his way up. Runner in scoring position for Belton, who had an RBI single back in the third inning. Swings and ground one down the left field line, out of play, and right to Mustangs head coach Johnny Coy, who's also our third base coach tonight. So an 0-1 count here to Carter Belton. Chris Coy waiting on deck. Got up to bat 3 times in 3 innings, but coming on track for his 4th time tonight. So that's a nice fastball grooved on the outer half of the plate to make the count now 0-2 here on Carter. Carter, a product of Maple Woods Community College, one of a couple of alum that we have here on the Mustangs roster. A glance back to second there by Hunter. And there's a swing and a foul ball at the plate going back to the backstop. So Belton able to stay alive. Count still 0-2. Doyle over at Fort Scott had a 7.4 ERA in 20 2/3 innings pitched. Did pick up a lot of strikeouts, 20 strikeouts in those 20 innings. So far tonight, he's yet to retire anyone via the K. He's up 0-2 here on Carter Belton. The pitch. It's a swing and a high pop fly, foul ground. Going back on it, it's the catcher. But Olson's unable to make the grab as that lands on the netting. We've got a couple of foul balls there over onto the right side of the netting. And you can see it right there on the right side of your screen, but we got 3 foul balls perching there. I've seen a couple of things get stuck on the net. Sometimes it might be a foul ball, sometimes it might be a dice. Just one of the fun quirks we have here at Phil Welch, a 90-plus-year-old stadium, looking as young as ever with brand new bleachers this season. The 0-2 offering is taken way outside, but a nice block by Olson allows the runners to stay. Count now 1-2 to Belton. The sun is setting here at Phil Welch. We got a beautiful evening tonight. There's a little bit of weather to the south of us. Never made it our way. 1-2 offering is swung on and missed. Fastball high and inside, and Belton's retired via the strikeout for the first time this inning. 2 runners on for Chris Coy at second and first base. And seeing the nice weather is a nice change of pace. Past couple months, we've seen a lot of heavy rain on the weekends here up in St. Joe. But we're looking like we'll have some very hot but very clear weather over these next couple days. First pitch to Coy is a fastball taken outside for ball 1. Coy tonight 1 for 1 with a single, a sacrifice fly, and a hit by pitch. So the 1-0 offering, Winkler over at first, Gundelfinger over at second. The pitch, a fastball that bounces up and onto the netting. Both runners able to advance a base. Pretty funky play there. Olson tried to block it, but that ball was spiked into the dirt. Doyle's got a bit of velocity there, and you don't tend to see a foul ball bounce all the way up and onto the netting, where it's now currently staying there. So the count's now 2-0 to Coy after the wild pitch. Gundelfinger over to third, Winkler over to second. The pitch, taken just a tad low. Looked like it might have been catching the bottom edge of the strike zone, but ruled a ball by our home plate umpire, and Coy facing a very favorable 3-0 count. It's a great opportunity here to add on to the Mustangs' lead. They lead by 3 here in the bottom half of the 5th. And there's a ball taken inside for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Chris Coy, able to hold off a couple of good pitches from the typically a very aggressive hitter. But that loads the bases for Frank Gall. Frank Gall, who had a bases clearing RBI double back in the 3rd inning against Doyle on his first pitch that he threw in the game. So we'll see how much he pitches to Gall, but there's nowhere to put him as the bases are full of white-shirted Mustangs. First pitch to Frank is a soft slider right there on the inside for ball 1. So 5 straight balls thrown by Hunter Doyle. Frank 2 for 3 on the night, reached on an error and scored back in the first. An RBI single in the second. And he sends that one deep out into left center field, but going out to make the grab is the left fielder, Garrett Locken. Coming home to score, though, is Tyler Gundelfinger. So a sacrifice fly for Frank Gall, allowing another run to come across for the Stangs. They now lead 10-6. After the opposite field, sacrifice fly. But that brings up Braden Lukart, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Singled his last time up back in the 4th inning. Gall now responsible for bringing home 5 of the Mustangs' 10 runs so far tonight. There's runners on the corners. First pitch to Lucart's taken high for ball 1. Coy does like to steal. We'll see how aggressive he is. Doyle has a very quick release. Pitching right in the middle of the mound, not on the extreme first or third base side. Probably a little more closer to first. And there does go Coy. The pitch is high for a ball, and the throw was not in time. Chris Coy makes it in and records his 12th stolen base of the year. The first stolen base tonight by a Mustangs player puts 2 men in scoring position. Braden Lucart facing a very favorable 2-0 count. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, 1 run has come across. Mustangs lead by 4. Doyle sets and delivers. There's a strike right there on the top corner of the zone. That run scored by Tyler Gundelfinger was the first run scored by against Hunter Doyle. All previous 9 runs going on the ledger of Clay Hedges, the starter for tonight for Clarinda. The 2-1 offering is a hard grounder down the first base line, and that's a fair ball. That makes its way over into the corner. 1 run is home, and going over to second is Braden Lucart, and he's going to beat the throw. 2 runs are home. That's an RBI double for Braden Lucart. The Mustangs now lead 12-6 here in the bottom of the 5th. So the Mustangs now having 3 runs coming across, putting on their own 2-out rally as Boston Bruce, the cleanup hitter tonight, makes his way up. He's 0 for 1. A sac fly, a run batted in, and a run scored. Popped up his last time up in the 4th inning, and he's batted in 3 straight innings now. One of 3 Mustangs to do so tonight. He takes that first pitch high for ball 1. Winkler and Coy coming around to score their second runs of the game. And Lucart sitting out there at second with his first 2 runs batted into the game. That ball is hit out to right field and out of play. So the count evens out at 1-1. Boston Bruce, who is an all-star catcher for the Mustangs, sharing the spot with Braden Olson. Those are the 2 representatives on the all-star roster out there at the catching position. So 1-1 the count here to Bruce. That is a pitch that's taken just a tad high. Looked to be an off-speed changeup. It's count now 2-1. Lucart sitting out there at second. Little bit of speed out there. 7 steals on the year. Has been caught still stealing once. So 7 for 8 on the year for Braden. See how aggressive he is out there with 2 outs. But Bruce fouling that down the left field line and falling to a knee. Lost his footing there. So he tried to drive that one deep down the left field line, but the count now 2-2. That was a swing that reminded me a lot of one of my favorite players of all time, Adrian Beltre. Third baseman, played for the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Mariners, and my personal favorite team, the Texas Rangers. First ballot Hall of Fame inductee a couple years ago. 2-2 offering, taken inside for ball 3. And one of his trademark things that Adrian would do would be a swing and a drive down to the knee. Remember watching him, a game against the Orioles back in 2018. It was a 3,000th hit. An RBI double down the left field line that he swung right down onto the knee. One of my favorite moments of baseball growing up as a kid. Full count here to Boston Bruce is taken outside for ball 4, and he draws his second walk of the evening to put runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Carson Schrack making his way up for the 4th time tonight. So the Mustangs having a nice little 2-out rally here. after the first 2 men are able to reach. 3 runs have already come across for them here in 5th. They lead by 6. And Schrack looking to add to the damage. Takes the first pitch over, but low. Doyle loses his hat in the process. Looking like the landing spot out there on the mound is okay, but nonetheless, hopefully it was just a loose cap. With 1-0 here to Carson Schrack, who is now the 4th batter to have batted in 3 straight innings for the Mustangs. That next pitch is taken just on the inside edge for a called strike. Schrack not a little happy with that, shaking his head with a little conversation over to the umpire. Looked like it might have been a tad inside, but nonetheless called a strike, so the count now 1-1. (12-6) is our score. 6-8-3 for Clarinda, 12-9-0 for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the 5th. Doyle taking his time out there, but he delivers in a foul ball down the right field line. Schrack able to get just a piece of that, now facing a 1-2 hole. Schrack, the 8th batter of the inning, with Jaden Little waiting on deck and Tyler Gundelfinger in the hole. Gundelfinger led off the inning with a base hit. Also came around to score the first run of this inning. One-two offering here to Doyle as both runners start to go, and that pitch is taken high and a stolen base by Braden Lukart. First steal of the night for Braden, his 8th on the year, and that puts runners on the corners. Bruce decided not to take off there, but the count now even at 2-2. And 90 feet away lies yet another run here for the Stangs. So two men on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a ball that's fouled off over to the roof on the left side. Schrack able to stay alive. Doyle sitting well over 50 pitches now. He's having to work here in this inning. Coming in, he's needed to throw nearly 30 pitches already. He steps off the mound, recollects himself. Don't see anybody out there in the Clarinda bullpen, but they could have a guy that's already ready and warmed up to come in. 2-2 offering, fouled off and hitting the roof. And yet another ball that, nearly lands and stays in the net, but goes out of the field of play. So Schrack able to stay alive here, ready to see pitch number 7 in this battle between him and Doyle. The 2-2 offering. Swinging a soft fly ball into medium shallow center field. Over there to make the catch is the center fielder Andrew Young for the final out of the inning. 2 men are left on, but not before 3 runs come across for the Stangs. They lead by 6. It's 12-6 after 5. Going into the 6th inning. We'll be right back right after this on your home of the Mustangs here on YouTube.
Now pitching to your St. Joseph Mustangs, the Quincy University number 34, Luke Howard. Well, leading off to the A's, here at the top of the 6th inning, good baseman, Andy Gill.
Welcome back to the top of the 6th inning. 9-1-2 due up, and coming onto the mound, the tall, lanky lefty Luke Howard making an appearance here. This is his 9th appearance of the season for the Stangs. It's had a really rough start to the year, but starting to pick things up lately. In his previous 4 outings, 4 innings of scoreless work. The first pitch he delivers to the 9-hole hitter, Andy Gill, taken low for ball 1. It's 2-0 here to the count to Gill. We've still got a great crowd here at the Phil. 1,311 coming in tonight. Another pitch taken just a tad low. Bounces out of the way, so the count now at 3-0. Luke's falling behind here on Gill. One of the smaller crowds we've had here at the Phil Welch so far this season, but still well above the Mink League average. Consistency and a lot of great fans here. And that pitch beans him in the head. Gill looks to be okay, but not how you wanted to start for Luke Howard, as he's the first relief pitcher in for Lane Chapman after 5 innings of 6-run work. So first hit by pitch tonight by any Mustangs pitcher, allowing Gill to come across to first. The top of the order now due up. Very dangerous top of the order at that for Clarinda as they trail by 6. First pitch is taken low and outside for ball 1. Bazemore up. He is 1 for 3 tonight with 2 groundouts and an RBI double back in the 4th inning. Next pitch is taken high, ball 2. Howard really struggling here to find the strike zone. That next pitch taken just outside, so count now 3-0. Howard is second on the team in walks allowed, 17. Does tend to strike out a lot of batters as well, 13 strikeouts on the season. He's able to groove that one in for his first strike. 8 pitches now in the game for Howard, and he finally finds the strike zone, so a 3-1 count now on Bazemore. The pitch. That's low for ball 4, so back-to-back batters able to reach here in the top of the 6th inning. Bringing up the very dangerous Cooper Knight and Theo Anderson, these next 2 batters, both of whom are 3 for 3 this evening. We got a mound visit now as we got to see what's going to be happening here with Knight and Anderson. Howard standing at 6'6" out of Florida. Tall, lanky lefty is had a couple of good games, but he's really struggling so far tonight. 9 pitches delivered, with 8 of them being balls. So back-to-back hitters able to reach in the top of the 6th, puts Andy Gill over at 2nd and Sean Bazemore over at 1st. Cooper Knight is 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a double so far tonight. 2 for 2 with a walk. 2 runs scored so far this evening for the talented right fielder. Seeing a lot of action out there in right field tonight as well. Lefty on lefty matchup here. So Howard works from the extreme third base side of the rubber. Nice frame job by the catcher Bruce, but not good enough as that's ruled ball 1 here on Cooper Knight. It's the 1-0 offering. Howard taking his time. Delivers a pitch right there on the outer half of the strike zone. Even the count out at 1-1. Good job by Howard to try to work his way back into the count. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Caught him with the changeup there. Knight now facing a 1-2 hole. Very dangerous hitter here for the A's this season. .368 batting average in 21 games played. Walking and striking out the same amount of times, 13 each coming into today as he fouls that over to the berm on the left side of the field. Count staying at 1-2. Last time we saw Howard, it was at Chillicothe on Monday. Pitched an inning and allowed 2 walks in addition to 2 strikeouts. So it's always an adventure with him on the mound, but he swings and strikes through strike 3. Slider there by Howard to retire Cooper Knight for the first time tonight. So 1 out here in the top of the 6th with Theo Anderson, the all-star utility player who's 3 for 3 tonight with 2 runs batted in. Bazemore at first, Gale over at second. We'll see how much Howard decides to pitch to Anderson. Baumgart, who's waiting on deck, is 1 for 3 tonight. First pitch he sees is swung on high and in the air, down the right field line and out of play, just over by the Mustangs locker room. So Anderson going down 0-1. First time tonight that Howard's been able to do that. So 0-1, here the count on Anderson. Theo leading the lead in batting average today and showcasing that. As that's taken way inside and it hits him on the elbow. Luckily it did, as both runners were about to advance on a wild pitch all the way to the backstop. But second hit by pitch by Luke Howard, putting the bases loaded and only 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Clarinda still trails by 6, Mustangs having a commanding 12-6 lead, but no lead is safe tonight as we've seen both teams go back and forth with big offensive outbursts. Bases are loaded for Cole Baumgart, as I mentioned earlier, who's 1 for 3 tonight with a single. And that hits him in the elbow, hits him in the knee, and that's a hit by pitch. Howard's 3rd, and that's going to bring home a run. So Andy Gill coming across to cut the deficit now to 12-7. Cut the lead, I should say. Anderson advanced to second. Bassmore over to 3rd, and Andrew Young, who's 0 for 3 tonight, making his way up. And another mound visit here, and Howard's night is done. Not a good start for him at all, as we got a new relief pitcher coming in for the Mustangs. We'll let him take a couple minutes to warm up, and we'll be right back on your home of the Mustangs. After a couple of minutes, we'll be right back.
Now pitching, number 37, Greg Hines. center fielder, Andrew Young.
Alrighty, welcome back to the top half of the 6th inning. Bases are loaded, and Braden Hines on the mound tonight. Coming in to relieve Luke Howard. Able to deliver a first pitch strike here to Andrew Young. Mustangs looking to hopefully turn 2 and limit the damage, as Luke Howard was not good tonight at all. 3 hit by pitches and a walk, but able to record a swing and strikeout. Count evens out at 1-1 after that next pitch lands just a tad inside. Hines, a late addition to the roster. This is only game 3 for him, but he's been solid in his limited appearances. 1-0 on the season in 5 innings pitched, 1 walk compared to 5 strikeouts. That next pitch taken just a tad inside, so count now 2-1. Bases loaded. And the 2-1 offering is taken outside for ball 3. So Hines needing a strike here, as there's nowhere to put Andrew Young. Cole Baumgart was hit by a pitch on the first pitch hit he saw, allowed a run to come across. There's a swing and a foul ball down the left field line. So Hines able to work himself back into the count. Count's now full as we turn the time over to Ryler for the game's next foul tip.
Foul tip number 2 of the game tonight. We got, all it takes is your name and your email, and you can be an ordained minister in less than 1 inning of baseball.
Wow. Are you an ordained minister?
As of this inning, yes.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
Ryler.
I can do baptisms, marriages. Now it's going to be a...
That falls swing high and deep in the left center field, but going over to make the catch is Braden Lukart. Throws over to third, so a run does come home. A sacrifice fly for Andrew Young puts another run on Luke Howard's ledger. Lead is now 4. Mustangs lead by 12-8. So Ryler, now that you're an ordained minister, would you be able to bless the team for us tonight?
I believe that was what ChatGPT told me I could do.
Can we get it? Can we get it? We do have the taco batter of the inning.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I have now blessed the St. Joseph Mustangs.
So you heard it here first, folks. The St. Joseph Mustangs are now blessed by newly ordained minister Ryler Sennington.
Oh yeah, and then just to clarify, to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I already blessed the rest of the Mink League as well.
The Mink League as well. So Clarinda and all of our folks around the league have been blessed here by our newest minister here. There's a soft grounder over to third base, foul. So
foul tip is that I just blessed us with 100 free tacos from Taco Bell.
If the Lord blesses us with 100 free tacos from Taco Bell tonight, I think that would be just an absolute cherry on top.
Dude's I lost it. Never mind.
So 0-2 the count. If we do get a strikeout here, that is 100 free tacos. The pitch. Taking just a tad outside, so the count now 1-2.
Everyone loves a good comeback story, Tyler. That's what he's looking for right here. He's looking to put on a show.
So 1-2 now the count here on Braden Olson. Olson tonight 1 for 2 with a homer and walk. Leads the Mink League in homers with 7.
No way!
And a swing and a miss. There's a strikeout. And 100 free tacos going to the crowd tonight as Olson swings and misses for the final out in the inning. But after 5.5, the Mustangs lead 12-8 here on your home of the Mustangs. We'll be right back right after this.
I will say before we go, Tyler, I don't think I've ever seen someone pull off a headset so quickly to run out of the room. Because he called it. He did.
He called it. Good job by Ryler. The Mustangs lead by 4. We're going into the bottom half of the 6th right after this.
Show everybody your number right now so they know
Welcome back to the home half of the 6th inning where the Mustangs lead 12-8 against Clarinda. Able to scrape across 2 runs in the first inning of relief by Mustangs pitching. And the third relief pitcher coming in tonight, I apologize, the second relief pitcher coming in tonight for the Clarinda A's, Cooper Eberly on the mound now. 5 appearances so far this season, 12 1/3 innings of work, 7.3 ERA coming into today. Facing 6, 7, and 8 here for the Mustangs. The count's 1-1 as that ball is lifted high and deep in the center field, but going back to make the catch on the warning track is the center fielder, Andrew Young. So seeing a lot of action out there in the outfield is the Clarinda defense, but coming on up is Tyler Gundelfinger, who had a single and a run scored back in the 5th inning. Opportunity here to extend this game for the Mustangs. First pitch he sees is taken just a tad high, but ruled a strike by our home plate umpire, so an 0-1 count now here to Tyler. And the next pitch he sees is taken way outside, so the count evens out at 1-1. One offering a slider that slides out of the way, so 1-1. Now goes to 2-1. Gundelfinger tonight 1 for 3. Ground out and a pop out in addition to that single. Next pitch is taken just a tad high, so the ball is now 3-1. And Tyler Gundelfinger faces a very favorable count here. Product of Lincoln University. Hometown hero here as he sends that one high into left center field. Going over to make the catch, though, is the center fielder for out number 2. So back-to-back outs for center field to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. And coming up to bat, Seth Winkler, who's having a good night tonight. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles, 2 runs, and a walk.
Yeah, Seth Winkler, one of the more productive hitters in this lineup, especially this evening. He lines that one into right field, and it'll drop for a single. So he makes that 3 for 3 on the night. Mustangs clinging on to a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 12-8. You know, we said it before and we'll say it again. We thought this game was going to be a dogfight all the way until the end. You know, just not many runs scored, more of a pitching duel, but it has not turned out to be that at all. Both teams explosive offense, 12 runs on 10 hits from the Mustangs, 8 runs on 8 hits from the Clarinda A's.
That next pitch is taken and fouled off toward the right side, so an 0-1 count here on the 9-hole hitter, Carter Belton. Winkler with his 3rd hit. 2nd time he's hit the ball to the opposite field for a base hit tonight. And Carter Belton's having a good night as well. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI single and a strikeout his last time up. Carter swings and hits the ball over to the netting, so finding himself in an 0-2 hole. He's had a good night here in the bottom of the order. Waiting on deck is Chris Coy, who's also had a great night here for the Stangs. All around, the Mustangs playing really good baseball against a very difficult Clarinda A's team.
Yeah, despite last night's close loss from the Mustangs, they've consistently scored 10 or more runs in a majority of their last 10 games. So the offense really coming alive, just trying to figure out that pitching inning after inning. It's coming along, but we'll just have to see how it plays out here in the later innings.
There goes the runner, and there's a ball hit out into right field, and fortunately right there to the right fielder, Cooper Knight, for out number 3. Mustangs leave a man after 6. They still lead by a score of 12-8. We're going into the 7th inning right here on your home of the Mustangs. We'll be right back right after this.
The official now goes to the Wild, 2-5. The Mustangs fans together the National Wild will have the chance on their end. The top of the league is here at number 7. As it may hitter.
Welcome to the 7th inning here on your home of the Mustangs on YouTube. If you're following the stream, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Share the stream with all your friends, family, and your neighbors across the street. We just hit over 1,000 subscribers, and we're super grateful for all of you guys making sure to tune into us every single game. We love and support every single one of y'all, and we're so grateful for all the things that you've done to help support us here at Phil Welch Stadium and the Mustangs team as a whole. But going into the 7th inning, Braden Hines coming back onto the mound, facing a 1-1 count against Parker McNeil, 0 for 3 tonight with 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Another strike grooved on in there, so the count's now 1-2. The 1-2 offering over the plate and just a tad low, and McNeil's able to hold off. So the count now evens out at 2-2, and you're here in the 7th inning, and we just learned last inning that we had an ordained minister here at Phil Welch. Ryler, welcome back into the booth.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Women in Sports Night, feeling great. Braden on the mound, doing an excellent job right now.
Yeah, Braden, a new addition to the Mustangs roster. This is only his 3rd game played. Been here just a couple of games, but he's shown that he's got a little mustard with this, with his pitching, as that's a foul ball down the left field line and over onto the berm.
Well, I think that's time for a foul tip.
What's our next foul tip?
You know what? Do you have a foul tip for us, Tyler?
You know, I think a great foul tip, especially, I think you should know this as more as a minister, because this is like coming straight from like all this biblical stuff, but do unto others as you have the do unto you. So golden rule, if you do something good, help somebody be good. If someone is bad to you, still be good to them. I think
I love that, actually.
Yeah.
I think the world needs more of that.
Yeah, I love getting us to have good, positive vibes, and we've got some great vibes here. We've got a 4-run game. Mustangs have put up 12 runs on the board. Gabe and I were talking a little bit last inning about how they've been putting a lot of runs up lately. They've averaged 9.9 runs per game in their last 10, so continuing to increase that output as there's a first pitch strike thrown to Grant Locken, making his way up for the 4th time tonight after a walk to Parker McNeil to lead off the inning.
He's getting saucy on the pitcher's mound right now with a name like Hines. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
You are pronouncing that right, and I would be lying if I said that I didn't make any sort of sauce-related comments back on his first time appearing for the Stings.
He is out here. He is catching up with the count. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I hope it is.
Trying to catch up there, but unfortunately, Plinkin, the batter, is going over to second base. Is Parker McNeil. Grant Locken, the 4th hit by pitch tonight, given up by Mustangs batters, by Mustangs pitching, after 3 by Luke Howard back in the 6th inning. So men at first and second with nobody out for the 9-hole hitter Andy Gill. Hit by a pitch last time in the 6th inning, came around to score.
Or in this case, you can call him a relish hitter, if you know what I'm saying.
A relish hit. Gill's squaring up for the bunt, but backs our way of a first pitch strike right there inside. So the count now 0-1 here on the 9-hole hitter Gill, with a very wide open stance there in the left-handed batter's box. Little coming in from first to try to get the safety squeeze, and that pitch is taken way outside. Fastball there by Hines. The count evens out at 1-1.
I think Jaden gave him a little jump scare right there. No pun intended.
I do think that Jaden was trying to be a little closer to the ball, trying to make sure that there wasn't any sort of funny business being hit by Gill. The count's now 1-1, still squaring up for the bunt, and he fouls that off. So the count's now 1-2. Be curious to see if Gill still tries to bunt, because another foul bunt isn't out.
Well, that goes kind of with my foul tip number 4 for the night. Normally, you shouldn't bunt On 2 strikes, it's just not a good idea.
It's not a good idea
Too
at
much
all.
risk, but sometimes risk works out great for you.
Sometimes, but we see Gill starting to square up here. The 1-2 offering is lined directly over to second base.
And are they going to be able to get it?
And the throw to first is in time, so a line-out double play to get 2 outs. Great job by Winkler and Little.
That's a double play sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings.
We are not sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings on the double play. Oh, we
Yes,
actually
we
are.
are.
Wow, I learned it's a double play sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Do you have a favorite wing flavor?
I do not. I'm not a big wing guy. If I get wings, they're probably plain.
Wow.
I'm a very picky eater. It's not good.
Okay, well, a double play sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings, putting 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. First pitch to Sean Bazemore, the top of the order now due up here for the A's. It's taken just outside for ball 1.
Just gonna check it. Take a little check out on it. Get the check.
Glance back over to second. The next pitch is over the plate, but just a tad low.
Just a bit outside.
So Bazemore now facing a 2-0 count. Bazemore on tonight has 2 for 3 with a run scored, RBI, and he walked his last time up. The only walk given up by Luke Howard back in the 6th. And that next pitch is taken way outside. So ball 3, Braden Hines looking to groove his way back into this count.
Trying to calm himself down, take his time. Just really get it in there, get it in the strike zone, what we need right now.
We did see Hines warming up a lot during Chapman's innings, but Howard was the first call out of the bullpen. And here's Hines, second man out of the bullpen for the Mustangs.
I think Braden's a good guy to help finish off the game for us. Like that right there with the first strike. Really zoning it in now.
Good pitch there, right down there on the inside edge. Making the count now 3-1.
Got Taco Ed out there supporting like always.
Product of Missouri State University, West Plains. Throws that fastball right there on the outside edge. Called strike 2, so full count now to Bazemore. 2 outs and the man here on second in the top of the 7th.
I'm calling it right now. He's going to swing. Looking.
We'll
Just
see
kidding.
a
that's not
swing,
fair.
and he decides not to as that fastball ran a little bit too far outside. And
I got the looking part right.
you did get the looking part right as Bazemore draws his second walk of the game, putting him out on first for Cooper Knight. Cooper had a great night tonight. He's 2 for 3 with 2 singles, a walk, and 2 runs scored. He was the only batter retired by Luke Howard back in the 6th inning via the swing and strikeout. We'll see if Hines is able to do something similar.
He's going to retire this guy so hard we hang his jersey up.
That first pitch taken just a tad inside, so 1-0 count here to Cooper Knight. And waiting on deck is the very dangerous Theo Anderson. Theo tonight 3 for 3 and also hit by a pitch. So 2 men are on, 2 outs. McNeil sitting over at first and Bazemore sitting up. There's a ground ball to the left side, and that's going to be a base hit. McNeil staying over at third, so not an RBI for Cooper Knight, but he records his 3rd hit of the game on that opposite field single. And coming up is Theo Anderson, very dangerous hitter. We'll see what the Mustangs' game plan is with a guy who is leading the entire Mink League in batting average.
We're looking for a force out right here. We got one at every base. I think that's going to be detrimental. Is that the right word?
Detrimental?
Detrimental, thank you, to this play right here, unless we can get him to swing.
So looking for a ball hit to any Mustangs infielder, even a strikeout. We'd love to see one here. And there's a high curveball taken for a ball. So Anderson now up in the count 1-0.
If I was playing MLB The Show, I would have swung.
I think we all would have swung. I think I would swing at nearly every pitch on MLB The Show.
Yeah, I'm batting 90.
Oof. So the 1-0 count here to Anderson. And that's over the plate, but just a tad low. So 2-0 the count.
Swung at that one, too.
Anderson's not a guy that you really want to be pitching to. He's been extremely dangerous for the A's. And I would be happy with allowing him to take 90 feet, take a walk, giving up a run. if that prevents him from scoring more.
Foul
But I would
tip.
also be really happy with an out as he fouls that one over to the left side.
Foul tip number 5 or 6 for tonight. We might need to call the city in here to be repairing this roof soon. They're taking shots at it left and right tonight.
And that's seeing a lot of action tonight. Lots of foul balls hit directly back. So 2-1 the count here on Theo Anderson. And he swings and fouls that one over into the road on the left side, so he's down to his last strike.
Foul tip number 6 or 7, one of those two. Watch your cars. We are not responsible if you are parking at the stadium and you buy a ticket.
We do have a car hit counter. We haven't had any car hits tonight as most of the balls have either been hit straight back or to the left side. Believe we're in the mid-20s so far this season. And there's a called strike 3 right there on the outer half of the end zone. A great job by Hines to retire Theo Anderson for the final time tonight. And the A's leave the bases loaded. Nobody comes across. Mustangs, after 6.5, enter the 7th inning stretch. They lead by 4. We'll be right back after right after this.
Well, it's a 7-3, 7th inning. The Mustangs have scored 7 more runs by 7 innings, which we have 12 is more than 7. So 7th inning just want to win all of it. It's 7-3. Leading it off, shortstop is scored.
Welcome back to the home half of the 7th inning as there's a ball that's hit right in the lagoon in left center field. Base hit for Chris Coy as he swings on the first pitch and records his 2nd hit of the game.
That's the 2nd time in this evening's game where he's been the leadoff hitter and gotten on base. And following him, I mean, just a slew of errors and runs coming across for the Mustangs. So hopefully they can continue that streak and put across a couple more here in the bottom of the 7th.
So Frank Gall coming on up. So far tonight, he's 2 for 4. I mean, 2 for 3, but he's got 5 runs batted in. An absolutely monster night from the 2-hole hitter. He fouls that first pitch off for strike 1. So no 1 count here on Frank Gall as he shoots one sky high just back of second base. Over to make the grab is Basmore at short, and he retires Frank Gall tonight. So a P6 for the first out. Chris Coy sitting over there at first still with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, despite that hit right there, Frank Gall has had himself relatively good evening so far.
2 for 4 with 5 RBIs. I'd say that's a great evening. Single and a double. Also scored. The first pitch here to the 3-hole hitter, Brian Lukart. It's taken outside for ball 1. Last time he was up in the 7th inning, in the 5th inning, had a 2-run double. And there goes Coy. That pitch is fouled high and out of play right onto the roof. So Lukart now facing a 1-1 count. Coy with 12 steals now on the season. That does lead the team. Looking to get his 13th here. Against Cooper Eberly, still on the mound for visiting A's. That pitch is taken outside, so the count now 2-1. Eberly this season, a 7.3 ERA, 15 hits and 13 runs allowed in 12 1/3 innings pitched coming into today. Toss over to first is not in time. Coy slides back to the bag safely. I feel like a lot of the early game we see a lot of pickoff attempts, especially to these faster runners like Chris Coy, Frank Gall, Braden Lukart. There goes Coy, the ball is inside. The throw to second is a good one, and it is in time. Chris Coy caught stealing for the first time this season. He's out number 2. Great throw there by Braden Olson. Ball that was fastball landed inside here to Braden Lukart, and the throw was right over there on the first base side of second base. Tag in time to catch the speedy Coy. The count's now 3-1 on Braden Lukart with 2 outs. And he's going to take his free 90 feet. Ball 4. So Coy getting a little too antsy. That made the second out here in the bottom of the 7th. But Braden Lukart extending it with a 5-pitch walk to bring up Boston Bruce, who is 0 for 1 tonight. 2 walks, a sacrifice fly, and a pop-up to second base. Lucart's also got some decent speed out there at first base. There's a nice off-speed pitch that lands right there at the top of the zone to make the count now 0-1 here on Boston Bruce. Lukart and Bruce, both all-star members for the Mustangs. The 0-1 pitch is fouled off to the right side and out of play. Chris Coy dashing over to the Mustangs locker room. Hopefully everything is okay with him. The count's now 0-2 here on Boston.
Mustangs set a comfortable 12-8. They're in the bottom of the 7th, but as we know, no lead is ever comfortable in baseball, no matter how big. A lot of things can happen.
That's what's beautiful about the game of baseball. No matter how big your lead may be or how big your deficit may be, there's always a chance.
Always a chance. Never say never.
Never say never as that next pitch lands it inside for ball 2. Who's taken just a tad high there. The Atchison, Kansas native, which recently transferred to the University of St. Louis. Eberly's pitch is down in the dirt. A good take there by Bruce, as after falling in an 0-2 hole, he's worked his way back into a full count. The count's now 3-2 with 2 outs. Lukart will be off on the pitch. Still a decent amount of fans here, about just over 1,300 today. Should see about 1,000 more over the next couple days. There goes Lukart, and that's on the outer edge of the strike zone for a called strike 3. Bruce is not happy with that. Nearly slams his bat into the ground, and he's still mouthing off to the umpire.
Yeah, it's a valid crash out from Bruce as he heads back to the dugout. Didn't think that one was anywhere near the strike zone, but he's retired. 3 outs for the Mustangs. We're headed into the visiting half, the 8th inning.
We'll be right back here on YouTube right after this.
We're going crazy, those Caesars. Who wants a crazy red?
Well, pitch inside, and take your front 56. So, the Mustangs winning for 32 points. Enjoy the people happy hour deal. And don't forget to enter your chance to win 2026 Jeep Wrangler. All happen now, people out there. Well, leading it off here at the top of the eight, second baseman, Ballard.
Welcome back to the home half of the 8th inning. Mustangs lead 12-8 over the visiting Clarinda A's. And 4, 5, and 6 due up here for the A's lineup. Part of the order here against Braden Hines, working his way through his second full inning. First pitch is called a strike right there at the same spot that Boston Bruce struck out to end the last inning. Looks a little bit on the outside, but nonetheless called a strike here to Cole Baumgart, who takes his time. But we got a quick discussion between the catcher, Bruce, and the umpire. Bruce was the guy that struck out there to end the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, he's still having some words there behind the plate. I will say, as a former catcher, that's probably one of the best spots to be in on the field, especially if you've got a disagreement with the umpire, because you can just talk smack all game.
You can talk smack, but just got to be careful not to get thrown out. There's a hard grounder up the middle, 2-hopper over to Coy at short. The toss over to first is true, so a 6-3 ground out to begin the top of the 8th. And the first time that the first batter hasn't reached for Clarinda in a couple innings. It's also the first ground ball we've seen over to Coy in a couple innings. He's had a relatively easy night over there at short. We got one out here for the 5-hole hitter, Andrew Young, who's 0 for 3 tonight with a sacrifice fly. His last time up back in the 6th. First pitch to Young is a ball that's called on the inside. That looks like it might have been where that same strike was, but called a ball by a home plate umpire. That's been a very tricky spot tonight. The 1-0 offering. Fastball taken just outside. The count's now 2-1 here on Andrew Young. He's had a good year. He's an all-star, but so far tonight, not doing much outside of that sacrifice fly in the 6th inning. 2-0 offering is a nice frame job by Bruce, but doesn't get the call, so it's 3-0 the count now. So 3-0, looking for a strike, the pitch. Too low, over the plate, but not hitting the strike zone, as there's a 4-pitch walk for Andrew Young. That's his first time safely reaching this evening. He's got a 1-out walk coming up for Braden Olson. 1 for 3 tonight. The home run back in the 4th, but a strikeout swinging back in the 6th. And what was a very pivotal out for the Mustangs as the bases were loaded. First pitch to Olson, gets away from Bruce. He tosses it over to second, and that is backed up by Coy there at short. A wild pitch advancement for Andrew Young puts him in second base, so a runner in scoring position for Braden Olson.
Yeah,
one out
nice.
here.
I was going to say, that was a great pick by Coy to keep it in front of the bag.
It's the 1-0 count here to Braden Olson. Young sitting over there at second. Check swing, went around, so a called strike evens the count out at 1-1 on the A's catcher. 1-1 offering, a swing and a high fly ball into right center field. Going back on it is Lucar, and he's going to make the sliding grab. Great play there by Braden to record the out. Runner is going to advance. But second out here in the inning after an amazing defensive play by Braden Lucar right out there on the center field warning track. So Young now sitting 90 feet away, and Parker McNeil coming on up for his fifth time tonight. 0 for 3 with 2 groundouts, a strikeout, and he walked last inning. Pitch is fouled back into the netting, so the count now 0-1 here on Parker. Coming into today, batting .300. 13 runs batted in so far on the season. But Hines looking to retire yet another batter. That's another foul ball in the exact same spot right there on the net. So the count now 0-2. Braden Hines yet to allow a run so far in his short time as a Mustang, looking to keep the streak going.
He's also had a good game here tonight. He's been able to keep a large amount of runners off the bases and be able to get things done. Mustangs still hold the 12-8 lead.
Only a single hit allowed by him tonight. So that next pitch runs just a tad low. Makes the count 2-2. One hit and 3 walks allowed by Braden Hines tonight. Those were his first 3 walks of his Mustangs career. There's a swing and a soft grounder foul down the first base side. So count stays at 2-2. McNeil trying to get this game closer. But Hines is looking to cool things off. So 2-2 the count. 2 outs, 1 runner on over at third base. McNeil takes a called strike 3 at the top of the zone. That is now 3 straight innings in which the Mustangs have retired the last batter via the strikeout. And it was an important one as they left the man at third. After 7.5, the Mustangs still lead. They go into the home half of the 8th, up 4. Here on YouTube, you're listening to Mustangs. We'll be right back right after this.
All right, here we go. Our next game, please. First thing, there's a little travel, a limited travel. Work hard. We call this one the world's shortest mascot, and they took the expressway here. Carson, who? Where was it? We got my close personal friend Ruthie here. Close and not very personal friend Donald. Okay, Mickey, Donald, Goofy. Personally, I'm rooting. Hey, right? We're going to be taking photos after this with Goofy, Donald, and Mickey. So, Donald, your team. 3, 2, 1, go! Nick Donald wins that one. Congratulations, the world's shortest race. Let's get 50-50 winner for the 50-50 is Carson. Go ahead and tell him. Is that 284 73 272? 284 473 272. $341. Tickets at Mustang Gift Shop if you are the winner. Take it.
Leading it off, good baseman, he's admired.
Welcome back to the home half of the 8th inning. Mustangs leading 12-8. Last time we'll see the Mustangs offense if they're able to keep the lead is there's a first pitch swing and an out to the outfield. Right there to the center fielder, Andrew Young, by Carson Schreck. He's retired via the F8 for the first out here in the 8th inning. Cooper Eberle still out there working his for the A's. So 1 out here in the 8th inning. Jaden Little and Tyler Gundelfinger also due up today for the Mustangs. First pitch here to Jaden is taken low for ball 1. Jaden tonight, the only Mustang to have not reached safely. He's 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout, 2 flyouts, but he did have a sac bunt to help up runners advance back in the 3rd inning. He's facing a 2-0 count here. And now a 3-0 count as that was taken just a tad outside. The big lefty out of Lincoln University. Check swings, but takes a strike right there on the outer half, so strike 1. Counts now 3-1. The 3-1 is grounded over to left field for the base hit. Jaden Little is the final Mustangs batter to have reached safely. Great job by him to get that hard hit single into left field. So he sits over there at first with 1 out as Tyler Gundelfinger making his way up for his 5th time this evening. Gundelfinger tonight, 1 for 4. Single and a run scored back in the 5th inning. Takes one that nearly hits him right on the inside edge for 1-0 count. So 1-0 count, taken right on the outer half of the plate, evens the count out at 1-1. The 1-1 offering, taken just a tad inside, but called a strike by our home plate umpire. So the count now 1-2. The 1-2 offering, just a tad outside. Good frame job there by Braden Olson, but the count goes to 2-2. So the 2-2 offering. That's low and bounces. A nice block there by Olson. Full count being drawn here to Tyler Gundelfinger. Jaden Little sitting over there at first base. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. 8-9-3 for the A's. 12-12-0 for the Mustangs. We'll see if Hines comes back out to finish the game in the top of the 9th, or if the Mustangs decide to put one of their several different closers in, maybe Landon Reith or Braden Hammond. But there's a ball that's 4 that's taken outside, and a walk allows back-to-back batters to reach here in the 8th inning with 1 out. Little makes his way over to second base, and Gundelfinger takes his free base. Seth Winkler coming on up. He's 3 for 3 tonight with 3 singles and a walk. It's had a great night batting here in the 8 hole. He's somebody that we normally have been seeing up there at the top of the order, but with just the sheer offensive firepower that the Mustangs have been having these past couple weeks, he's been pushed all the way down to 8. But that's not to say anything on how he's had a great season. First pitch to Jaden is skied high down the left field line. Going over to try to get is the third baseman, but that hooks its way out of play for a foul ball. So no 1-1 the count here on Seth. Due up is Carter Belton, who's 1 for 3 tonight. 0-1 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Mustangs trying to add on as many as they can. Next pitch is taken just a tad high, so the count now 1-1. Everybody in the Mustangs has had a great night tonight. Probably none more so than Frank Gall, who's a couple batters away. We'll hopefully get a chance to see him later this inning. That's a pitch that lands just a tad high for ball 2. Makes it, Winkler has to duck down to avoid that pitch. And I think saying a tad high is putting it lightly. He's able to get out of the way, so count now 2-1 with 1 out, 2 men on. Little at second, Gundelfinger at first. Eberle's pitch is a front door slider able to make its way in, so the count evens out at 2-2. Eberle working his 3rd inning as the 3rd reliever tonight. Or I say the 3rd pitcher for the A's. That pitch is in the dirt, low and away, so the count now full on Seth Winkler. Back to back batters reaching full counts here against Eberle. Full count, 2 men on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch. That's lined out into right center field. Going back on it, it's the right fielder, Cooper Knight, and he's able to make the grab. That was a well-struck ball, but good read there by Cooper to grab it over his head for out number 2. So an F9 in the scorebook for Seth Winkler. First time he's been retired tonight. And Carter Belton making his way up for his 5th time this evening. RBI single back in the 3rd inning and a walk and a run scored back in the 2nd. Good piece of hitting out of the 9-hole. We got a quick discussion out there on the mound. Looks like everything's okay. Eberle having just a couple of different conversations, one with Bazemore, one with Baumgart, one with the home plate umpire. Looking to be okay as Belton gets ready, coming up with 2 outs. Gundelfinger over at first, Little able to reach 3rd after the fly out. I'm being told that Carson Schrack is now out of the game. Eden Myers coming in to take his place. We should see him at 3rd base there in the top of the 9th. A swing and a foul ball down the right field line and out of play. So 0-1 the count now here to Carter Belton. Belton, who absolutely crushed his homers over the left field wall so far on the season, has 3. Tied with Jaden Little for 2nd on the team. 1 count, fastball taken high, evens the count out at 1-1.
Let's go Boston. Let's go Boston.
That pitch is hammered out into right field, but going back on it after a funky route is Cooper Knight, and he grabs it right short of the warning track for the final out of the inning. After 8, the Mustangs lead by 4, 12-8. They're the 3 outs away from securing another victory here at the Phil. We'll be right back to the top of the 9th right after this.
The official pilot in the body is Steve Mustangs fans connected. In fact, reliable, 100%.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you made it. It's Thursday night. You guys know what time it is. It's the 9th inning. That's right. And I'm over here behind home plate with some of our biggest fans over here. And they're going to get the chant going, so make sure you guys chant with them. Here we go. Great job. Let's get a round of applause tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the attendance for the 9th game. Don't forget, Mustang Tuesday at home, Friday and Saturday, the Carroll Merchant. If you're ready to go to all shade, and don't forget tomorrow, $1.50. Beer night, and Friday, Friday, spectacular. See the ballpark, leading off here tonight.
Welcome back to the top of the 9th inning. Mustangs looking to close things out here against the Clarinda A's. Looking for their second win against them this season. Trying to scrape a dead even season series as they will be playing them once more next week. Braden Hines is back out for his 3rd inning of work. Looking to get a 3-inning save. Be the first by a Mustang this season as the first pitch to the 8-hole hitter Grant Locken is taken inside for ball 1. And that next pitch able to groove its way in for a called strike right there at the top of the zone. So 1-1 the count. And that is Eden Myers out there at third base replacing Carson Schrack. No other defensive changes for the Mustangs tonight. That next slider there by Hines finds its way on the outer edge for a called strike. So the count's now 1-2. A's needing 4 runs to tie this game, extend the game any longer. And that pitch is taken low, so the count now 2-2. Coming on up for the Mustangs, they've got a great series here against Carroll, these next 2 games at home. Tomorrow and Saturday, both at 7 o'clock. And there's a strikeout there for Grant Locken. First out here in the 9th inning, and Andy Gill, the 9-hole hitter, coming on up for his 5th time tonight. Represents the next hope that Carroll has of extending this game. To finish off the season on Monday, the Mustangs will play their final road game of the year at Nevada before returning home on Thursday to play the Kansas City Monarchs for the final time. That ball's lifted high down the left field line, hooking out of play, and it is just so. That ball stayed in the air forever. Foul ball by Andy Gill, so he goes down 0-1 before finishing off the season Friday at home against Clarinda. And then on Saturday, we've got a doubleheader against Northern Missouri. First game will be, we've got a bunny rabbit on the field. And the bunny rabbit has successfully gone from 3rd to 1st. Great steal there by the bunny. But to finish off the thought, next Saturday we will be at home against North Missouri, finishing a game that we had rained out where the Mustangs were down 3-0 in the 1st inning. They will be restarting that game at 4:30 Central Time. And then once that game is done, they'll be playing the full 9 innings. 30-minute break will commence, and then we will be having a 7-inning second game to finish off the season. Basing on how Mustangs games go, that game should be starting around 8:30ish, between 8 and 8:30. Games at 4:30 and games right around 8:30. Your ticket to that game will be including both of those games. So make sure to come out to the Phil, come support your Mustangs in their final home game before the playoffs start here in just a little over a week. Counts 1-2 here to Andy Gill. He swings and fouls one back to the backstop. For Clarinda, they go and have a very important end of their season after this game, as there's a soft, lazy fly ball into right field, but that lands for the base hit. Andy Gill making his way over to first with a softly hit single. Putting one on with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. For the top of the order, now do it up. Sean Bazemore, who's walked his past 2 times, is making his way up to the plate. After tonight, Clarinda going on a 3-game home series against the Joplin Jailbirds Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Before doing a game on Tuesday versus Chillicothe, a game on Thursday versus the Natties, their last road game of the season at St. Joe next Friday, and then finishing off the season on Saturday against Carroll. An important series for them is they're second in the Mink League right now. Mustangs looking to gain another spot on them as they tried to secure their 10th victory in the past 11 games. Bassmore down in an 0-2 hole after a swing and a miss. The 0-2 offering is a swing and a high fly, shallow fly ball that is just onto the netting. Bruce tried to grab it, and that was just a couple feet up the netting to keep Bassmore alive at 0-2. Clarinda coming into today, 18-7 in Mink League play, 20-8 overall, only 28 games played, whereas the Mustangs are 20-13 overall, 17-12 in the Mink League. 5 more games being played by St. Joe, which is why they have a lighter schedule to end the season. It'll be interesting to see how the standings shake up as we go into the final week of the season next week for the playoffs. The 1 and 2 seeds will have byes, and then the 3 and 6 seeds will be playing, and the 4 and 5 seeds will be playing on Wild Card Day on Monday. As the standings currently stand, Carroll and Clarinda will be receiving byes. Joplin will be playing the Natties at home, and the Mustangs will be playing Chillicothe at home, as there is an opposite field single just out of the reach of Jaden Little by Sean Bassmore. So back-to-back one-out singles, putting 2 men on for Cooper Knight. He's had a great night tonight. He's 3 for 4 with 3 singles, a walk, and a strikeout. St. Joseph having on and off success against Chillicothe so far this season. So looking to potentially play the Natties, who they've only lost 2 once, and that was their last game, 6-4. I was away out at Kirksville. Currently the only team out of the playoff picture right now is the Nevada Griffins. They stand a game and a half behind the Natties for 6th place. There's a liner right up the middle, and that gets out of the reach by both the second baseman and the shortstop. Around home comes a run, and the first run has been given up by Braden Hines in his 3 innings of relief, but an RBI single by Cooper Knight on a soft grounder up the middle. Bassmore stays over at second, but Gill is able to come around, so back-to-back-to-back singles. Made this a 3-run game, and going out to the mound is the Mustangs pitching coach, just to make sure everything's okay. Settle him down as Theo Anderson's coming on up. He's only been retired once tonight. He's 3 for 4, 2 doubles. A strikeout his last time up, first time he was retired today. And the Mustangs looking to do something similar, trying to get out of this 9th inning with minimal damage. Anderson does represent the tying run. And Hines is going to have to be very careful pitching to him. On the year, Anderson, a .471 batting average, 22 runs batted in coming into today. That puts him second on the team, tied with Andrew Young, and 2 behind Cole Baumgart. He tied that with a 2-run double back in the 4th to make it 24 all, but Baumgart having an RBI hit by pitch in the 6th, pushing him back up to 25 on the season, so still having the lead. Baumgart is waiting on deck for after Anderson's at-bat. 10 doubles coming into today for Anderson, but only 1 home run. First pitch by Anderson by Hines is sharply fouled off to the left side. So an 0-1 count here to Theo. Playing over at St. Mary University out in California. Member of the WCC league that my university used to play for. There's another foul ball down the left side. Anderson getting really hard contact on it, but not in the spots that he's wanting it. Finding himself quickly in an 0-2 hole. 9-12-3 for the A's, 12-12-0 for the Mustangs as they look to secure their 18th league victory. Currently sitting at 17-12 coming into today to take sole possession of 3rd place. There's a swing and a miss, and Anderson is retired via the strikeout for out number 2 here in the 9th inning. Second time he's been struck out, and a pivotal one at that. Cole Baumgart represents the last hope for the Clarinda A's as they are 1 out away from losing back-to-back games. First pitch to Baumgart, high and tight, ball 1. A lock and strikeout, and then 3 straight singles have allowed a run to come across. But Theo Anderson striking out is the second out of the inning. There's a called strike. Good pitch there by Hines. In other Mink League action tonight, Joplin Carroll tied 2-2 in the bottom of the 9th out there in Carroll, Iowa. Pivotal game there. There's a line drive in the center field, a base hit. Nice grab by Lucart, and another run comes home. So the Mustangs lead is now dwindled down to 2 after that RBI single by Cole Baumgart. Mustangs now lead 12-10. Coming home to score, Sean Basmore, and going over to second base is Cooper Knight. Andrew Young coming on up. He's 0 for 4 tonight with a walk. The other game we have tonight, Nevada over at Chillicothe. It's 11-8 in favor of Chillicothe at the top of the 7th. There's a high drive down the left field line, hooking out of play and foul. Hitting the patio out there by the batting cages. So 0-1 the count to Andrew Young. Represents the last hope here for Clarinda. He will be the leading run should he come around to score. Young on the year, 2 home runs in 24 games played. So has 4 doubles, so 6 extra base hits for him on the year. Another high fly ball down the left field line, but hooking out of play, so 0-2. The A's down to their final strike in the top of the 9th. Mustangs holding on to a 2-run lead. The A's have been able to chip away here in the later half of the game. 2 runs in the 6th and 2 runs here in the 9th. The pitch. Swung and foul tipped. Not able to be caught by Boston Bruce, so it goes back to the backstop. Young able to stay alive. Make sure to tune in tomorrow here on YouTube. The stream will start at 6:55 against the Mustangs. They're able to go on a 2-game stretch against the Carroll Merchants for their final time against them this season. The 0-2 offering, swung on and missed. The game is over. A swing and a miss by Andrew Young ends the game, and the Mustangs are able to record their 10th victory in 11 games. And Clarinda goes down for their back-to-back losses. Great overall performance tonight by the Mustangs. A very entertaining game as the score is final 12-10 in favor of St. Joe. And down go the Clarinda A's. Mustangs now improved to 18-12. They're in sole possession of 3rd place here in the Mink League. Clarinda falling to 18-8 on the season. Mustangs 2 games behind them in the standings now. But a great game today by the Mustangs. Solid pitching by Lane Chapman and Braden Hines. Great piece of offensive performance. 5 runs batted in by Frank Gall. Everybody reaching base at least once. Great job overall by the Mustangs to record their 21st victory of the season. But folks, thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Tyler Angerbauer, with me Gabe Porter, and for a couple of innings, Ryler Symington. Thanks for tuning in. Follow our stream. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the stream with your friends, family, your neighbors, and catch us live tomorrow at 6:55. Let's go Mustangs.
He came up big in multiple foul. He's that and 5 RBIs now. He came up in big spot after big spot. What is your mindset in those situations? Well, it's easy when we got
getting off base, so just trying to move the runner, trying to score him, and it helps all my teammates get on. So.
As the playoffs draw near, how confident are you in this team to make a deep run?
Oh, we know what we got. We know we're the best team. I mean, that's what we believe, and we've been playing better ball, and it's going to keep rolling for sure.
All right, thank you. Give it up for the player of the game, Frank Gall.
mean, we're both here right now. Let's get the heaviest thing out here.
Okay.
Ready? Lift.
All right.